Francisco 49ers. There are few more spectacular sights in the world than a brilliant sunlit day in this jewel of a city on the bay, but that can change rapidly, as in the last 30 minutes the clouds have begun to move in on Candlestick Park, the site of this afternoon's game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi everybody, I'm Frank Lieber. You know all about the 49ers. For the Vikings, it's been a struggle, a rebuilding year for head coach Les Steckel, but keep in mind he's already won one more game this year than Bill Walsh did in his first year at San Francisco. And 2 years later, the 49ers won the Super Bowl. So like the weather, things can change rather rapidly. With me is Dick Vermeil talking about Bill Walsh. How does he get his team ready to play this football game?
Well, he feels, Frank, if they're as good a football team as everybody's been telling them they are, then they ought to be capable of setting their own standards of excellence, their own standards of performance, and they shouldn't need a playoff caliber football team to get them ready to play.
Well, the 49ers have won everything in sight, including the home field advantage for the Super Bowl, which is just down the freeway. How do they get themselves up for this game? How do they get motivated?
Not totally true, Frank. They haven't done everything. No team in football has won 15 regular season football games. And the 49ers right now have a chance to do this. And it's very important to Bill Walsh, his coaching staff, and his players to accomplish this. Now, if they do this, they will also have swept their conference for the first time in 49er history.
Ready for the opening kickoff, and the Minnesota Vikings have won the toss of the coin. Ray Wersching, longtime veteran place kicker for the San Francisco 49ers, will be kicking off, and the deep men for the Vikings, number 20, Darren Nelson, on the left side of your screen, and number 46, Alfred Anderson, over on the right side. Well, it's amazing the way this weather has turned around in the last 30 minutes or so. Couldn't ask for a better day, and now the clouds really moving in, and there is a possibility that we could have some shower activity before the afternoon is out.
It doesn't rain in Northern California.
Well, you're back home again, aren't you?
You bet I'm back home.
Wersching kicking off, coming down to the rookie from Baylor, number 3 draft choice, Alfred Anderson, back to the 10, the 15, and just across the 20-yard line, up to the 21. Let's check the starting lineups for you. Offensively for the Minnesota Vikings, Archie Manning did such a great job in the second half against Washington. We'll get the nod today. Anderson and Nelson in the backfield with him, and Leo Lewis and Mike Jones, the small but swift outside men. The Vikings offensive line that includes a center, Ron Sams, who never played center before this year. Steve Riley, Curtis Rouse, a 300-pounder, Terry Tausch, Tim Irwin, and Joe Sensor starting at tight end for the first time in a year and a half, coming back from knee surgery. The numbers on Archie Manning so far this year, 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line, and Archie wants to throw it. Goes to Sensor, the tight end, and Sensor gets just a yard. And then he's tripped up by Mario Clark, number 29, who's filling in for Ronnie Lott at a corner. 49ers play the front three with Manu Tuiasosopo in the middle, Jim Stuckey and Dwayne Board. Outside, the linebackers, veteran crew headed by Dan Bunge, Ricky Ellison, Hacksaw Reynolds, and Keena Turner. Won't find a better group, I don't think, in the National Football League. In the secondary, Clark filling in for Lott, Eric Wright, Carlton Williamson, and Dwight Hicks, who were all starters as rookies on that Super Bowl team back in 1982. A loss back to the 17-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and 13 for the Vikings. They sent Jones in motion. Archie Manning downfield completes the pass, and that is good for a 1st down. And taking the heavy hit on that play was little Leo Lewis, who had the big day against the Redskins with 2 touchdown catches. Dwight Hicks, number 22, making the stop. Probably the smallest man on the field at about 5'9" and 165 pounds. 22-yard pickup on the play and a 1st down for the Vikings at their 41-yard line. Only loss this year by the 49ers was to the Pittsburgh Steelers, so they're going for the sweep in the conference, as Dick mentioned. Anderson and Nelson, the setbacks behind Archie Manning. Darren Nelson, who played his college football at Stanford. Nothing. Les Steckel, the young head coach of the Vikings, and I would think Dick Vermeil, the only man in the state of Minnesota having a tougher year than this man, was Walter Mondale.
I agree. But I tell you, he'll come out better for it somewhere along in his career. He may not realize that right now, but the adversity you go through in rebuilding a program usually makes you stronger once you get it done.
Well, he talked yesterday about resiliency being the biggest lesson that he has learned this year.
I think he would have liked to learn the lesson with a different play, though.
2nd and 10. Vikings at their 40-yard line. Jones to the right side. We get movement prior to the snap. Number 78 breaking across the line of scrimmage there was Manu Tuiasosopo, the nose tackle.
Manu.
Is that's the way to pronounce it? I got the last name right, but I blew the first name?
Manu.
Now the referee's mic is inoperative, as you could tell, and unless you're a good lip reader, we'll have to interpret for you. It's working half the time.
Yeah, they'll get it going. They'll get it going, of course.
Offside against the San Francisco 49ers, moves it out to the 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd down 5. Vikings use that huddle where the quarterback faces everyone.
I know, I mean, that's unusual. Not many people in pro football do that. It is an advantage. At least the defensive team cannot do it.
2nd and 5. Minnesota from its 45, opening possession of the game. And a penalty marker is thrown as the pass behind the intended receiver, Leo Lewis. You can say a lot for Leo Lewis and for Jones, but they are still not Sammy White and Ahmad Rashad.
No, they are not. Sammy White has been, and still is, I'm sure, an outstanding receiver, but actually not playing today. He's been injured, but then they had the little break in policy last week where they disappeared at halftime.
Gentleman right next to Les Steckel, Tommy Kramer.
Fine quarterback. They miss him very much. Their 4 outstanding players in their program are not playing and have missed a high percentage of the games this year.
Well, he's such a great competitor. 2nd year in a row that Kramer has been sidelined by injuries. The holding call against the Vikings moves it back to the 36-yard line. And now Minnesota looking at a 2nd and 15. It's the Vikings' worst year since 1962, which was their 2nd year in existence. And the 49ers go with an extra defensive back.
They have Fred Dean in there right now at that right defensive end.
Leading pass sacker in the National Football Conference last year, who held out until mid-November. Jones in motion. Here comes the rush. Archie in trouble. Jeff Fuller, number 49, blew through there from the secondary on the blitz. And Archie Manning never had a chance.
Didn't have a chance. Somebody should be able to pick him up. Coming from the end zone now, you're going to see. Here he is now. You see him coming around from the right-hand side of the screen. No one slid outside to pick him up. I don't know what the protection was, but obviously they had no man assigned to it. Now Dean is going to take the hard inside. See, he's coming inside now to draw the tackle down, shorten the line of scrimmage. And there comes 49, Jeff Fuller, around to the outside to get to the quarterback.
Dean getting extra attention, but Fuller slipping on through. We've got an official timeout as you look at Jeff Fuller, the rookie safety from Texas A&M and the Vikings. We get back to play here. Going to be looking at a 3rd down and 28. Talking about quarterbacks being sacked, that's the 48th time the Vikings quarterbacks have been sacked this year. That is the 2nd worst record in the NFC. Atlanta has been sacked 53 times. Well, apparently there's a problem with the 30-second clock.
I'll tell you, I think there's a bigger problem with this 3rd and long yardage call right here. This is really tough.
A mere 3rd and 28 for the Minnesota Vikings. As they bring it up to the line of scrimmage, we're 2.5 minutes deep in the football game. Vikings have the ball at their 23, and now the 49ers are going with 6 defensive backs in this alignment. Manning out of the shotgun. Look out. Big Hands Johnson is after him. Archie finally runs out of bounds after picking up short yardage on the play at about the 24-yard line. Got about 1 yard. Boy, anybody who's a football fan has got to be pulling for Archie Manning. It's like, Dr. J, when the 76ers never won the championship. You hope Archie Manning, before the end of his career, can play for a winning team.
Oh, I know. I think all coaches feel that way. All real true football fans feel that way. And it was interesting what he said yesterday. He said, I get traded to Minnesota. I say, oh, boy, I'm going into a stable program and play for a great football coach. And then the football coach retires.
He's snake bitten. Went to Houston when the Oilers went bad. And, of course, all the problems he had all those years in New Orleans. Coleman, one of the better kickers in the league. Pretty good rush by the 49ers. Dana McLemore at the 42, 45. And they're stopped just short of midfield. We've got a marker back at the line of scrimmage. The old hanky has been dropped upon us once again.
Good call by the official. It is roughing the kicker. It was not intentional. He didn't do it on purpose, but he didn't pull off on time, and he ran into the kicker with a leg straight out, and you have to protect the guy. Here he is limping a little bit right now.
34 yards on the punt by Coleman, 7 on the return. Personal foul, roughing the kicker.
Now you're going to see number 62, Guy McIntyre. See, he's splitting the gap. Now see him jump to the outside. Now he's working up. He almost falls down. Now he's stumbling. Now watch him run into the kicker. The punter's leg, Greg Coleman, number 9, was straight out in the air. Now here's a back view. Watch number 8. Focus in on him now. You're going to see he's going through his punting action. Now here, oh, we ran out of time there. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Now you can really see him. You can see him. Oh, I'm sorry, but it still counts. Personal foul.
And with it, of course, the automatic first down. So the Vikings offense comes back on the field, 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. You're talking about Archie Manning. Archie has been in the league 14 years. In that time, he has been through 10 head coaches, 10 different head coaches, and a dozen offensive coordinators. John Nelson tried to get outside, slipped a tackle by Board. But the 49ers run him down to the far side. Tom Homo, number 28, making the stop. And not much there for Nelson. Now, you had Nelson, as I recall, in an all-star game once. What do you think of him?
San Diego all-star. Explosive offensive football player. Very gifted, not real big. And right now he's having a problem, Frank, staying healthy. But I think that's more a bad luck time of his career. And once he gets going, he will not be injured any more than anybody else and have a great pro career.
He still holds that NCAA all-purpose yardage record, doesn't he?
6,385 yards.
2nd and 10 for the Vikings at their 28-yard line. No score early in the ballgame. In fact, the Vikings haven't given it up yet. 49ers haven't touched it. Archie Manning trying to set up the screen, does so to Joe Sensor, and the tight end goes down at the 30-yard line. Well, Sensor may have taken a shot on the knee there.
You know, Joe Sensor's been out quite some time. This was a play-action pass. Now watch the quarterback. Focus in. See the back fake the running play, freezes the linebackers. Now he's looking for the tight end, just slipping to the outside. There he is. He's got the ball. Now watch the tackle being made from right outside here. Dana McLemore, number 43. Nice job, Dana.
Joe Sensor in his 5th year. That's where you used to train with the Eagles, isn't it?
Yes, Westchester State. We moved there to start training after he graduated from there. Fine player, great basketball player as well.
3rd and 9 for the Vikings at their 30-yard line. Just over 10 minutes left to play in the first period. Manning, they got the blitz again. He gets it away and overthrows Sensor. Archie knew he had to dump it quickly because they were coming.
You know, in talking about Archie and the different coordinators that he's been exposed to all through the years, Frank, it was interesting what he said about the Minnesota offense, how complex it is because of the maturity of the offense over the 17 years that program had been under the guidance of Bud Grant. So it's the most difficult offense to learn that he's ever been around.
Greg Coleman, who was rough the first time around. And the deep man, Dana McLemore, who has turned into just an excellent returner. Former 10th round draft choice out of Hawaii. No rush at all this time, and a short kick bounces at the 35-yard line, takes a Viking hop, and will roll dead at the 23.
I wonder if that bad punt had anything to do with being roughed on the last punt.
Well, with the roll, it wasn't that bad a punt. As it turned out, a 48-yard kick, and the San Francisco 49ers will go to the offense for the first time today when we come back right after this. Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil. We're at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California, as the 49ers prepare to go to the attack, and this is the way they'll line up. Wendell Tyler, who may see just a little bit of action today because of a thigh injury, he will start in the backfield with Roger Craig behind Joe Montana, and Dwight Clark and Freddie Solomon, the 2 wide receivers. 49ers offensive line, Bubba Parrish, John Ayers, Fred Quillen, Randy Cross, Keith Farnhurst, and Earl Cooper. 1st and 10, San Francisco with the best record in pro football at 13-1, and Montana comes out throwing and hits Freddie Solomon over the middle at the 28-yard line. Defensively for the Minnesota Vikings, They'll line up with the three-man front. Charlie Johnson, former Philadelphia Eagle. The nose tackle, flanked by Doug Martin and Neil Elshire. Martin's been troubled by injuries all year. Matt Blair, Dennis Johnson, Scott Studwell, and Robin Sindline. At the linebacking positions, Browner, Bess, Hannon, and Lee. In the secondary, second down, 49ers from the 29. Wendell Tyler trying to get outside and will lose close to 5 yards on that play. Penetrating was Scott Studwell. Number 55, the 8th-year veteran, former 9th-round draft choice back in 1977, which will set up a 3rd and long. Now, Bill Walsh has his ready card on the sidelines, but you can see it in his hand there. But actually, he really works off a list that's a lot longer than that, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Bill takes what he has on the card off a game sheet, and maybe we'll get a chance to show him here.
We'll try to show it to you after this play. 3rd and 6 for the 49ers from their 27. Good protection and a nice catch by Roger Craig, but again, Studwell is there and makes the stop at the 25-yard line short of the first down. Now, let's talk about that list, Dick.
Well, right here, Bill Walsh has his offensive game plan, all by formations, all by situation, goal line, short yardage, basic passes. You just saw a nickel pass. From this sheet, he takes the offense and puts it on his game card that he has in his hand on the field.
One quarterback is expected to know every play on that sheet.
Oh, he'll know it. You better believe it, he'll know it.
4th down, Nelson is deep. And Max Runiger doing the punting and hangs this one up nicely. Nelson chasing it, takes a 49er hop at the 15. He fields it at the 20 after bobbling it and will be stopped at the 24-yard line. Runiger got all of that one. Todd Shell, number 90, making the stop. We have a timeout here in San Francisco after a 59-yard punt. There's no score. No score in this one with 8 minutes and 26 seconds left in the opening period. Earlier today, the New York Jets beat Buffalo by a score of 21-17. Vikings 1st and 10 at their 23-yard line. Archie Manning with Alfred Anderson, number 46, and Nelson, number 20, behind him. Anderson, fine running back, but we get a marker thrown as Anderson picked up enough yardage for the first down at the 35-yard line. That's normally the spot where you see that offensive holding call, and there it is.
We might see more holding penalties called today on the Minnesota line because the 49er defense is extremely quick, especially when they get the down 4 in there of Fred Dean, number 74, and the likes of Gary Johnson, number 97. Those guys have great quickness, and we might see some guys grabbing on.
Well, we're happy to be here, and I know you're happy to be back in your home country.
It's a great area. Having been raised in the Napa Valley, Frank, I'm only 75 miles away. I'm right next door to where I did my high school and junior college coaching, and it's exciting to be back in this area.
Hey, we had to go out yesterday in Dick Vermeil's old house. Huh?
Yeah, you bet. Redwood City.
Yes, sir.
543 grand.
Back at the 15-yard line, first down, and Manning has the pass blocked on him. Big rush that time. Fred Dean, number 74. It's hard to believe this guy missed most of the season, as quick as he is.
Oh, he is quick. He's quicker now because he's making a little better money. Now watch him coming around. You'll see Smith's 78 right there. Now you're going to see there. Get that hand up there. He came in from the left side of the screen. Did a nice job of getting his hands up as the quarterback got the ball out. Mr. Dean had a nice visit with him in the locker room yesterday, and he was carrying a black pouch-type bag over his shoulder, and I asked him if that was where he was carrying all his contract money.
I see. He had some unusual demands, I understand, in his salary negotiations. Second down and 20. Vikings at their 14-yard line. Still no score on the ball. Anderson looked almost like he ran into his own blocker there, Dave.
I think they got stuffed. They just got shoved back in there in their blocking scheme, and there was no room to get the play started.
This young man was one of the best high school quarterbacks to come out of the state of Texas in years in Waco, and then was made a running back by Grant Taff at Baylor.
Just take a look at his inside. Watch Stover, number 72, get the penetration up inside there. See him right up in the middle of it. No one blocking him. It must have been an influence-type play. The influence did not work. And Anderson, being the tough competitor that he is, just keeps fighting.
Third down and 20. Stover was shaken up on the play. Of course, he's had some knee problems earlier this year and coming back off a knee operation just 11 or 12 weeks ago. On third and 20, Nelson looked a little surprised that Archie handed him the football.
That was the shotgun draw play where you take the deep snap and then the running back slides right over to you. Now let's take a look at Fred Dean. Here is one of the class hands. See him right in the middle screen, number 74. Look at him fight with Steve Riley. Now he's coming. He moves off the block and in and makes a tackle. And I had a chance to talk with Steve Riley yesterday, the big offensive tackle, number 78 for Minnesota, and he said he doesn't have a different type of game plan to block the guys. It's going to rely on his fundamental technique and experience to try to get it done.
Coleman punting from the goal line, and McLemore watches this one sail out of bounds around the area of the 40 or 45-yard line of Minnesota. So the 49ers will come up with excellent field position after the 31-yard kick. 6 minutes, 50 seconds left to play in the first period. We are scoreless here in the first period. When you compare the statistics of these two ball games, obviously the 49ers have a very slight advantage.
They do. You know, the 49ers are good. They're even better than they were. At Super Bowl, you're averaging 7 points more a game offensively. But you have to hand it to Minnesota right now. They're battling them.
This is the 49ers' second offensive possession of the football game. They have a 1st and 10 at the Minnesota 44. Craig in motion, Montana to throw it, and Joel looking long for Dwight Clark. That's 6 points. The 49ers wanted to work on was their long passing game, and I would say it's off to a pretty good start.
You're going to see that there's a little play action involved right here. He gets going back. There was a little movement, rather. The stunts are being picked up inside. For some reason, the free safety was not deep in the middle. You see Tommy Hannon, 45, trying to recover. Touchdown. Really a nice job of beating Rufus Best to the post. But I believe there should have been a free safety there to help him, Frank.
44 yards on the touchdown pass from Montana to Clark. And Worshing on to try the extra point.
That's at 100 straight PATs for Worshing right now. Let's take another angle of view of this. Now watch the quarterback. You can't see the receiver yet. You can see he's looking downfield to his left. He looks, he lays it up nicely. One great thing about Montana, when he has a man open, he gets it there. Rufus Best, number 21, beaten deep for the touchdown. And you know something? This Montana throws a touchdown pass every 20 times he throws the football in a game. That's not too bad.
And this is a guy he looks for an awful lot. And watching the 49ers in practice, I believe Dwight Clark works about as hard as anybody in the game.
No, the other thing is that when watching him on the practice field, even though he's on the field with a lot of fine players, Frank, he stands out because his hands, the suppleness of his hands as he catches a football, it's unbelievable how he catches the ball. Just so, I mean, if there is a prototype model guy in terms of hands, this guy is it.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. San Francisco after victory number 14. If they win these last two, they'll have accomplished something no other team has ever done in the NFL, and that's win 15 regular season games. 49ers are also after their 8th straight victory, which would tie a club record. Worshing kicking off. Well, Nelson fielding the line drive at the 5, back to the 15, across the 20, and stopped at the 25-yard line.
As we take a look right here at Dwight Clark, you're going to see him come down, make the post move, and go in there, and for some reason, there's no free safety, and Rufus right here couldn't handle him to the inside. Watch this now. He's going to go down. See him right there. No, the safety's up playing the man out. They must have been dogging up inside. No free safety. Touchdown for the 49ers. Very well executed play.
Vikings 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They've tried 5 running plays thus far in the first period. They've gained 1 yard. Manning over the middle. Pass tipped in the middle. Intended for Jones. And falls harmlessly to the ground. You know, again, talking to Archie yesterday, he said he's got trouble even with the center snap of this football team.
Neither center playing right now has ever played center before. And he says, you know, Coach, I always look forward to going to practice, but now, especially early, I didn't look forward to it because I never got the snap, and that's the most fundamental part of the offense.
Remember, Archie used to wear 8 with the Saints and with Houston. He's wearing 4 now. 8 is the punter's number, Greg Coleman, who offered it to him, but he wouldn't take it. So Archie called his kids in New Orleans and asked them what number he should take, and they said 4. That pass over the head of the intended receiver. Leo Lewis on the far side. Eric Wright was back there defending. And they were coming that time.
They were, and you'll see why it is tough to throw efficiently. Now watch the defensive line in general. Just watch the group. They're all working physically upfield, getting after him. Here comes Todd Shell, number 90. Somebody better pick him up. Oh, Archie picked him up with a helmet. Boy, that smarts a little bit.
3rd down. Vikings need 10 for the first down at their 25-yard line. 6 minutes, 25 seconds left to play in the first period. The 49ers leading 7-0. They're showing blitz as Manning has them lined up in the shotgun. Again the pressure, and Manning is smothered back at the 17. Carlton Williamson, the strong safety, blowing through there that time.
Actually, somebody, I don't know who he was, slid out there to try to pick him up and actually tried to grab a hold of him and didn't get him. Uh-oh, Archie's down.
Well, that won't help, obviously, with Kramer hurt. The other Viking quarterback is Wade Wilson, who started against the Redskins and had a non-productive first half, and then they put Manning in. But if Archie is indeed not ready to go, it'll be number 11, Wade Wilson, who'll be coming in. Let's see if we can pick up what happened here.
He'll be coming off from the left side of your screen. You can see Dwayne Board, number 76. You can see him working tough up inside there. Here he comes. Boom, gets a shot on him right there. He goes down. There's a knee maybe in the back that occurred right there in the middle of your screen. Number 49, Jeff Fuller, came in there, and maybe his knee, Frank, hit him right in the middle of the back.
Well, Archie is still on the floor of Candlestick Park being tended to. Could have had the wind knocked out of him. Maybe that'll be all it is. Wade Wilson, number 11, who's the backup quarterback and who would come into the game if Manning has to come out. Timeout here in San Francisco. Archie Manning walked off the field under his own power. We'll get an injury report for you shortly. 4th down situation for the Minnesota Vikings, and Coleman running from his 5-yard line. Nice high kick. McLemore signals for the fair catch at the 33-yard line. And that's where the San Francisco 49ers will put it in play with 6 minutes and 7 seconds left in the opening period. 7-0 right here, San Francisco, as a result of the touchdown pass from Montana to Dwight Clark. Coming up tomorrow on CBS, we'll have doubleheader action, and most of you across the country are going to watch that ball game against the Giants and St. Louis. Key game in the NFC East. The second game, the annual war between the Redskins and the Cowboys. Great doubleheader day on CBS. Wendell Tyler driving forward across the 35 to the 37-yard line. If you haven't been keeping that close track of the NFC East, it couldn't be any closer. Just about everybody in that division, with the exception of the Eagles, actually everybody with the exception of the Eagles, has a shot at winning it.
They really do. I'm going to be watching all these football games, but I'll tell you, I think St. Louis might be the sneaker. They might slip in there. They have been the most impressive team that we've done in that division this year.
Well, the Giants, they win their last 2. They've got it, regardless of what happens. But not easy. On 2nd and 6, Roger Craig drives for the first down across the 45 to the 47-yard line. If he plays long enough, and we said he does have some injury problems, Wendell Tyler today can set a new San Francisco club record for rushing yardage in a single season. He needs just 10 yards to eclipse Delvin Williams' old mark.
You know, this guy's averaging 5.3 yards a carry. That's just outstanding when you consider the other fellow in Southern California is averaging 5.4.
1st and 10. 49ers at their 47-yard line. Tyler to the 50 and down to the 49-yard line. Of course, Wendell, old friend of yours from UCLA days, trying to get over the handle that he is a fumbler, but he has in the past been perhaps noted for that. And I noticed the other day we were practicing, he was sitting up in the stands.
He was sitting in the stands because his leg was bothering. I went up, sat next to him. I said, you know, Wendell, you better get on the field because your dad might show up here and get all over you. His dad used to be on the practice field all the time. It was like having an assistant coach there.
Just over 4 minutes left in the opening period. On 2nd and 7, Montana again going long. This time Freddie Solomon makes the catch and goes out of bounds at the 29 for the first down, beating Joey Browner.
Boy, the timing and the execution of that was just super. The ball was in the air before the man ever came out of the route. Now watch Solomon, number 88, streaking up there, pushing on Joey Brown, number 47. He has him turned. Now watch him come back for the ball. He works there to the sideline. First down. Nice job. Both feet inbounds. I tell you, you have to be careful on that Freddie Solomon, because this year he's slipping behind people.
Freddie's got an interesting string going. He scored touchdowns in 6 straight games. That's 2 shy of the 49ers club record. First and 10 from the 29. Tyler trying to get outside. 25 down to the 24-yard line. Scott Studwell, the right inside linebacker, making the tackle for the Minnesota Vikings.
Here you are. Now watch Wendell. You see the fullback coming right. Roger Craig, 33. He's going to block the linebacker. Look at him bounce outside. Now he can accelerate. He outruns one linebacker. Now Studwell, number 55, comes in and puts him down. Wendell has that great speed. He ran around a 9.500 at Crenshaw High School his senior year.
Second and 5. Tyler needs 2 more yards rushing now to beat the club record. According to our unofficial statistics, doesn't get it on that carry. In fact, he fumbles the football, and Montana recovers it back at the 28-yard line. And if you read lips, you don't want to know what he's saying.
Yeah, you just don't go ahead and put it on the air. You can read lips. Here's what happened. You'll see a halfback. Now watch Wendell sliding over to the quarterback. He reaches back, and I think he might have been really starting to cut away and didn't get the ball put away nicely, and the defensive lineman came in and just ripped it out.
The injury report on Archie Manning is that he has a bruised coccyx. You know where that is, don't you?
You know where that is.
You sit down on it, is what it is. Third down and 9 from the 28-yard line. Roger Craig, 25-20, got the first down and is pumped out of bounds at the 11.
Boy, that looks awfully simple, does it not? Just swing out of the backfield, no one around you to make the play. Now watch Roger Craig right in the middle of your screen, number 33. He's slipping out there. He's looking downfield. He's going to lay it off. Evidently, a linebacker had him in coverage, coming inside out. Must have got picked off. Here comes Scott Studwell, number 55, to put him out of bounds. Oh, watch out. Don't get that late hit.
First and 10 for the 49ers at the Minnesota Viking 11-yard line. 3 minutes left to play in the opening period. 7-0 San Francisco. Montana going the other way. This time intended for Wendell Tyler. He was pursued by Robin Sendline, the former University of Texas star.
Robin's playing in there for Fred McNeil, the fine outside linebacker that has bruised ribs. Last night I saw him for the first time. I recruited him to UCLA. I gave him a hug and just enthusiasm to see the guy. He says, "Oh, coach, don't squeeze so hard." He said, "I got bad ribs."
Sendline, good prospect out of the University of Texas. Second-round draft choice back in 1981. Got a few ex-Texas players on the Minnesota roster. Second and 10 from the 11. Montana hands it to Tyler, trying to cut back inside, but good D that time by the Minnesota Vikings. Neil Elshire, number 73, and the 4th-year man from Oregon breaks through to make the stop behind the line.
It looked like Wendell maybe should have stayed outside and used his speed rather than trying to cut back right at that time.
One thing that Les Steckel was telling us about the Vikings, their pass rush is the pits.
Oh,
he will admit it.
Really.
Doug Martin's been hurt. Mulaney's been hurt.
They've had 22 sacks for the year, 28th in the NFL. That's a 57% drop in production from last year's rush group. Of course, they're all injured from last year. Well, any of these guys fine players are not playing.
Second and 12 from the 13-yard line. Montana looking over the field, no pressure. Drops it off to Craig at the 5. He takes it down to the 3. That'll be short of the first down by a couple of yards, and the field goal unit may be coming on. One of the 49ers shaken up on the play.
Randy Cross, I think number 51, the fine offensive right guards, played in the Pro Bowl, played for us at UCLA.
That's one thing you want to avoid when you've clinched everything, and now you don't want to get guys hurt heading into the playoffs.
And the other thing is, Frank, the more you think about it, I think more you create the atmosphere mentally that it could happen, because you take the edge, you have people being concerned about it. They've got to go out and play like it's any other Sunday. And that's what they're doing right now.
49ers will have a 4th down situation coming up. Going to need a couple for the first down. Joe Montana, rated the highest quarterback in the history of the National Football League. Doesn't have the reputation for the strongest arm, but he's got just about everything else.
He has the great touch on the ball. He's great impromptu, just as we just saw then. You know, play breaks down, he finds the open guy. Also, when he has the guy open on the big play, as designed by Bill Walsh and his offensive staff, Paul Hackett and the likes, he gets him the ball. That's all there is to it.
Bill Walsh, the head coach of the 49ers, and speaking of head coaches, got an interesting feature for you tomorrow on the NFL Today. Your old friend and mine, Tom Landry, will be profiled. You know, it's amazing. 25 years with the Cowboys, all the changes we've seen in the country, in the way the game of football is being played,
where the players are, attitude-wise,
and he's able to keep the Cowboys in there.
Oh, well, he's a general. He's a man amongst men. He's a great football coach. And there's only a few people that have ever reached his status in their profession. You know, the likes of Don Shula, the Bud Grants. Hey, I think now Chuck Knox and Bill Walsh, these people, Chuck Noll, you know, names that are just outstanding in the National Football League.
Cross up to a sitting position. You know, he's got to be one of the finest pulling guards ever, does he not?
Oh, he's a fine pulling guard, very efficient. When he pulls, he usually gets the got man. I mean, he knocks the guy down. When he was in college playing for us at UCLA, we used to moving to him play-by-play to the guard position that called on a pulling assignment that time. And people never picked it up. Whenever we were going to pull a guard, we'd put Randy in that job in position to get it done.
Well, Randy will get a breather, and Guy McIntyre will come in to replace him.
This guy's a fine player, good person. It's nice to see these young guys that you coached in college and watch them mature. Now he and his wife Pat have a baby girl, you know, and he's just doing super in every way, both on and off the field. Having been NFL Man of the Year in the San Francisco area in 1981, he's got it all going for him.
Well, interesting call here. 4th down, they're going to go for it. Needing 2 for the first down, just inside the 4-yard line.
Watch this.
Montana on the rollout, one receiver covered, looking for help. Joe finally throws it, it's a touchdown. Freddie Solomon breaks loose to the corner of the end zone. Montana with all day to throw the ball, just kept moving until someone broke loose.
Frank, I watched them practice this play on the field. And you'll see here the man in motion, his intent was to get him the ball out in the flat. See, he couldn't get it to him. Now they also, coach, go ahead now and get into the impromptu pattern as executed right there. They coached that on the field Thursday. I saw them do it.
Worthing adding the extra point to make it 14-0. Another angle.
Now take a look at it from the defensive standpoint. You see the defense moving. They look there. They can't. Now they're coming back because Montana's scrambling back. There the guy comes back to the end zone behind the defender. They can't even see him. Freddie Solomon, number 88, gets his
So Solomon,
ninth touchdown.
That keeps his string going now. He has scored in 7 consecutive games. Just one shy of the record for the 49ers. 1:41 left in the opening period. San Francisco in command. Archie Manning on the sidelines does not look like he's in the best of health at the present time, and I don't think he's going to be coming back anytime soon, which means on this next series, we'll probably be looking at Wade Wilson. There's the book on the 49ers scoring drive, ending in the 3-yard pass to Freddie Solomon. Worthing kicking off. Alfred Anderson at the 2-yard line. Back to the 10, 15. Really took a shot at the 20-yard line. So Anderson will get up slowly.
Mike Walter really gave him a shot, number 99. Oh, man.
Wade Wilson coming into the ball game to quarterback the Minnesota Vikings. He was an 8th-round draft choice in 1981.
Let's see if we can see the hit on Alfred Anderson, number 46. He's got the ball tucked up underneath. People are looking to get blocked there. Sensor number 81. Now watch that. Boom. Boy, he got the pads into that man.
1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. Wilson looking downfield, completes the pass on the near sideline. And that will be very close for the first down, as pulling down the reception is number 89, Mike Jones. For the Minnesota Vikings, Dana McLemore shoves him out of bounds. Prior to that play, the Viking offense was minus 7 yards here in the first period.
The Viking offense that time, Frank, did a nice job of picking up the dog. Freddie Solomon, you know, that guy catches a touchdown pass in his career every 8th catch. That's unbelievable.
Less than a minute left to play in the opening period. Second down. Little less than 2 for the first down. And Nelson should have the first for the Minnesota Vikings. So we said Wilson is an 8th-round draft pick in 1981. Came out of East Texas State. Started a couple of games last year. Won a couple. And has started a couple of ball games this year.
You know, he started the final game of '83 against the Cincinnati Bengals and beat them 20-14. This guy can line up and play.
Seconds ticking away here in the first period of play. Jones in motion. First and 10 from the 32. Wilson under the pressure. Delivers to Joe Sensor, and Sensor has another first down for the Vikings up to the 47-yard line, where Jack Reynolds, Hacksaw, number 64, makes the stop.
There's an original piece of work, that guy. When they made that mold, they just threw the mold away.
14-yard pickup on that last play, which signals the end of the first period here at Candlestick Park, with the 49ers leading the Vikings 14-0. Welcome back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The lights have been turned out here. The clouds have moved in. Had a brilliant sunshiny day until just about an hour ago, and now it's beginning to look a little threatening. As Wade Wilson, who has come on to complete his first 2 passes in relief of Archie Manning, a little confidence after he went to the locker room against Washington. They were down 31-0. And Les Steckel turned the reins over to Manning. That was 10 days ago. First and 10. Vikings at their 46, and the Niners have their pass rush defense in there. Cleared out very nicely, and the pass completed over on the far side to Mike Mularkey, who's the second tight end, and he takes it out of bounds at the 41-yard line. You surprised to see their pass rush in there on first down? It's a little unusual to have the pass rushers in there on that first down.
Well, they just figure, I think, right now that Minnesota's going to have to throw the ball to catch up and beat them, and so they're going to play the pass rushers. That's all there is to it. Plus, remember, they're down to just 3 inside linebackers.
First and 10 for the Vikings. This is their deepest possession of the ball game at the San Francisco 41-yard line. Wilson under pressure behind the line, trying to scramble out of it, and finally run out of bounds in front of the Viking bench at the 42-yard line. Almost got back to the line of scrimmage. Very close to it. Mike Walter, number 99. Walter came into the league as a second-round draft choice of the Cowboys a year ago and was cut.
I know it. Now you can see the kind of heat he's getting. See Michael Carter, number 5, right, 95, right in his face. He even lost the quarterback. Now he's got him running. He gets him outside now. He's looking for somebody downfield. He can't find it. Go ahead and get out of bounds, kiddo. Good job. Got out of bounds.
49ers are moving a lot of people on and off the field. Cowboys tried to play Walter as an outside linebacker, but Walsh told us yesterday he thinks he's going to make it on the inside.
They wanted him as an inside linebacker when Dallas drafted him.
Second down 12 for the Vikings at the 44-yard line of San Francisco. Again the blitz, and Wilson in trouble behind the line of scrimmage. Blowing through there hard was Jeff Fuller, number 49, who got a piece of him and threw him into the arms of Jeff Stover, number 72.
You can see what Bill Walsh told us yesterday is true. Now watch this. They're going to come with the safety blitz. Here he is now. He's back here. He's going to appear right now. 49 Jeff. He ducks up under. He has no place to go. Somebody has to pick him up, or else they have to use a hot receiver. There he is, number 49. See him right in the middle of your screen. No one's going to block him. Heck, that doesn't mean he's a great pass rusher. Someone has to pick him up. They either had a mistake in protection or didn't have a hot receiver type key for Wilson to go to another receiver, Frank.
Third down, 3rd and 21 from the 47-yard line. Vikings back in their end of the field. Wilson floating this one out there. Jones makes the catch for the first down at the 15-yard line. Wilson doing a pretty job of letting Jones just run under that football, and Dana McLemore made the stop and saved the touchdown.
Here's Michael Jones there, right in the middle of your screen. See, he was up bump and run coverage with Dana McLemore, number 43. He's chasing. The safety was down in the middle. Nice throw right over the outside shoulder where it has to be thrown. Good job. Riley, the right tackle now. Watch him, 78. Doing a good job on Fred Dean, number 74. He's got his hands out, which are legal. He's not holding. That's legal to do it. Good job, Mr. Riley.
So the Vikings, with their first threat of the day, have a first down at the San Francisco 49ers 15-yard line. The pitch to Anderson, trying to get outside. He's at the 10. Anderson down near the 5 and should have another first down as he goes out of bounds at that point with the assistance of Dwight Hicks, number 22, and Jack Reynolds, number 64.
The ball is going to be tossed to your right. Now Alfred Anderson, number 46, gets it. You can see he's got a block right there. Now there's old number 76 getting out there. The big tackle, Tim Irwin, does a pretty good job of moving up there. Watch the center, number 64, the offensive guard, 61, working in a combination block on Tuya Sissoko, number 78. Got him knocked down. That happens a lot to nose tackles.
Nose of the ball just outside the 5-yard line. It is first and goal to go for the Minnesota Vikings, trailing 14-0. Early in the second quarter of the play. Handoff. Darren Nelson escapes the tackle. He's over. Touchdown.
Way to go!
Darren Nelson, former Stanford star, performing before quite a few of his fans as he's back home, scoring the Vikings' first touchdown of the afternoon to make it 14-6 with the extra point trying to come.
That was a nice lead play, and he was going to take it up inside. It was all plugged up, and then he went ahead as he constricted the defense, pulled him inside. He has the acceleration to bounce outside and get the 6-pointer.
Jan Stenerud will try the extra point. 18 years in the National Football League and having another great season at the age of 42. Les Steckel was a senior in high school when this man started his pro football career. Coleman puts it down. The kick is up. And he's got it. Coleman is his third holder this year as well after they traded Steve Dills. And Kramer went down with the injury. Timeout, 13 minutes, 16 seconds left to play in the first half. Welcome back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. NFL football today. Next Saturday on CBS, college basketball. How about number 1 and number 2? Georgetown and DePaul. And I tell you, it'll be a little closer than the one today. Or, those of you in the Southwest will see Tulsa take on Arkansas. Stenerud ready to kick off for the Minnesota Vikings. Kickoff is short, bounces down to the 25-yard line, and finally picked up by the San Francisco 49ers, Mike Wilson, who is a wide receiver. He takes it back to the 34.
Now let's take a look at this play. Here's the running back that carried the ball, number 20, Darren Nelson, the fullback, the lead blocker. He was going to go inside. He was going to go in here like that. He didn't like what he saw, got a nice block from the tight end, and took it to the end zone. Here he goes. Now see him? The intent was to get up inside. He couldn't get inside. 49ers had it shut off. He now bounces outside and accelerates, beats the pursuit on into the end zone.
Back to live action. First and 10 from the 36. Montana throwing on first down. Completes the pass to Dwight Clark. Just about 10 yards out to the 46-yard line. Rufus Best, number 21, making the stop on the outstanding 49er wide receiver.
Clark is right there on the left side of your screen. He's going to come off and just pitch pass. Now watch him just stop right there. Real big cushion by the defender. Rufus Best, who's already been beaten to the post, so he's going to play off him a little bit. You saw Scott Studwell, number 55, come in and miss him.
What a difference a year makes. We were out here a year ago. He was on crutches. Remember after the knee injury?
Yeah. Boy, does he have great hands. It's just so impressive to watch him just pluck that ball out of the air on the practice field.
Second down. One needed for the first down from the 46. And Wendell Tyler drives forward to the 50-yard line.
Nice job of blocking by Fred Quillen, the offensive center, on Charlie Johnson, and it allowed Wendell to go ahead and cut back. You're going to see what I'm talking about right now. And watch the center, number 56, Fred Quillen, on Charlie Johnson, right in the middle of the screen. Now Charlie took a side, and Wendell goes ahead and cuts back behind another fine block by Bubba Parrish, the offensive left tackle, number 77.
And the 49ers have the first down at the 50-yard line. Montana with the fake into the middle, goes short. Down the far side, Earl Cooper, the tight end, finally out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Well, I mean, you can coach a lot of things, and he knows where he's supposed to go when he's in trouble. Now watch, he's going to fake a draw. Watch the quarterback in the middle of the screen. He makes the draw fake there. Now watch him. He gets up underneath the rush. He's looking. He knows where his outlet is. There he is, Earl Cooper. And remember, Earl Cooper used to be a very fine running back, was drafted as a running back
out of Rice University, and was a running back on the Super Bowl team a couple of years ago.
I talked to him yesterday. He likes his tight end position.
25-yard pickup on the play, and the 49ers with a first down at the Minnesota 26. Wendell Tyler almost slipped and fell, and then took it inside the 20 to the 19-yard line, and that may put him over the 10 yards he needs to break Dalvin Williams' club rushing record. Officially, he now has 12 in the game on 8 carries, so Tyler holds the new 49er season rushing record.
Proud of you, Wendell.
I don't think it's 2006, however, do you? If that were the case, Eric Dickerson and O.J. Simpson might be wondering what's going on. 2nd and 4 for the 49ers at the 19-yard line. Tyler almost stopped at the line of scrimmage, driving forward to the 15. Instead of 3rd down and short yardage needed for the first, maybe close enough for measurement. Let's see.
You can see that Bill Walsh is intent in doing what he said yesterday. We want to become a relentless offense, and I am not satisfied with the way we played the last couple weeks offensively, and we're going to play better today. He's keeping his good people right in there right now.
You know, a couple weeks ago against New Orleans, as you see the measurement, Joe Montana went 1 pass under 500. He was 14 out of 30. First time in 5 years he has been under 500.
Well, he's such a high percentage thrower. And that is also, he's a product of the Walsh offense and their philosophy of coaching quarterbacks within the offense, that passing scheme. It's very interesting.
Would he be that good with another team, you know?
Yes, he would, but he's better with Bill Walsh, especially on the high percentage stuff.
Solomon to the left side, Clark to the right. 1st and 10 from the 16. Tyler to the 10 and down to the 6-yard line. And that'll be close for another first down, and perhaps close enough for measurement as Gordon McCarter, the referee, eyes it.
Wendell's giving him the sign, hey, Coach, I broke the record. Get me out of here.
I got enough.
I've got enough.
Save me for the playoffs.
Yeah.
You notice the young man with the jacket on the sidelines next to Walsh, Matt Cavanaugh, the backup quarterback, who helped signal in those plays. He is 2nd and 1. Derek Harmon has now come in at the running back slot, replacing Tyler. The fake to Harmon. Montana going with the pass. And over the outstretched arms of Dwight Clark. You know, the young man replacing Tyler, talking to Walsh yesterday, he's really high on Derek Harmon, who's a 9th-round draft choice out of Cornell.
He's a great player. At least, I mean, he's going to be. I shouldn't say a great player, but he really thinks he has fine potential and is going to be a quality running back in the league. He's a bright guy, you know, has a degree in engineering physics, similar to the degree I have, physical education.
Sure. Well, Tyler's had his rest. He's back in there. 3rd down and a yard needed for the first down for the 49ers at the Vikings 7. Montana to Tyler, who slipped, then got up and has enough for the first down as he takes it to the 4-yard line. And then he's shoved back.
He came out one play. They send him back in and let him run. But Derek Harmon can run, and I think we're going to see him do a lot of running in the ball game. Now watch coming right at you. How would you like to try to tackle this guy? There you are as a linebacker. You get blocked. There's Tommy Hennon, 45, working inside out. And then there's Robin Sendline going in and finishing them off. That's the physical part of the game up there, where all the grunting and groaning is going on, the hitting, the bodies slashing around.
1st and goal to go. Nose of the football just inside the 5. The 49ers leading 14-7. Just over 9 minutes left to play in the first half. In the backfield, it's Wendell Tyler for the touchdown. A penalty marker goes down as we may have had a face mask call there on Joey Browner. And some of the 49ers not particularly happy about that. But Tyler just brute forced his way into the end zone.
He went after it. I tell you, he's always known where the end zone is. I can remember seeing him run what we called a counter dive in a Rose Bowl game. Here he is now, number 26, going to slash right up inside. Now watch him slide. Great blocking by Randy Cross, 51, and the other lineman right there. Now there's Russ Francis, number 21. Now you can see that there is a face mask wrestling going on right there. So that was Joey Browner that was sort of hog-tying him, trying to get him down.
Penalty against the Vikings. Of course, the 49ers will take the touchdown here, and the extra point try to come. 20-7. Les Steckel.
Les has got to remember he's not the only one in coaching that has experienced this thing. All of us have at one time or another in our coaching careers.
Montana puts it down, and Wurzing pumps it through the uprights. Bit of determined piece of running here by Wendell Tyler.
Well, he can run, and he knows where. There's Scott Studwell, number 55. See him attack? All right, Roger Clark, number 33, gets a nice cut block on him. Now Joey Brunner, number 47, spins off the block. He's trying to prevent him from getting in the end zone. No way. There he is, touchdown. And then Mr. Quillen telling him touchdown.
We're in the same business.
The creator of A House of Horrors involves Jessica in a seemingly unsolvable mystery when he's found dead. James Coco guest stars on Murder, She Wrote.
Wendell Tyler with the 5-yard touchdown after an impressive 63-yard drive by the San Francisco 49ers. One of the big play, the 25-yard throw down the sidelines to Earl Cooper.
Frank, as I was going through that final touchdown, I inadvertently said Roger Clark, and that was Roger Craig, number 33, who got through there so nicely.
Nice block right there. Wurzing pumps this one out of the end zone. That's
Where did he get that one, huh?
Huh? Wurzing's actually been in a little bit of a slump. You know, he's missed his last 5 field goal attempts, which is very unlike him. So they're trying to get him some work as they get ready for the playoffs.
Of course, the penalty was tacked on right there, so he didn't have as far to kick the ball to kick it that way. But he was pumped up in the locker room yesterday. He was excited about how well they've been doing, and he was also excited about setting that record again of 100 straight PATs, which he just did in this ball game. Got quite a sense of humor, this guy does.
Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line, trailing 20-7. Wade Wilson, the quarterback. Jones split to the left side. Leo Lewis is flanked to the right as they go with the one-back set this time. Anderson busting a tackle at the line of scrimmage across the 25 to the 26-yard line. 49er bench enjoying things rather thoroughly. You can enjoy things when you're 13-1 going on 14-1.
Yeah. Look at that Bubba Paris, and then Montana's talking to his girlfriend. You see that right there. Hello, dear. What are we going to have for dinner?
2nd down. Vikings need 4 for the 1st down at their 26-yard line. Minnesota's last game will be at home against the Green Bay Packers. 49ers will finish up against the Rams next Friday night. Wilson again floating it out there, and he had Sensor. Had he been able to hit him, I don't think he would have scored, but it would have obviously been a sizable gainer.
He knew where he wanted to go with the ball. He read the coverage properly, was trying to get it down the hole to Sensor in between the 2 safeties that were playing too deep that time, Frank, and he just overthrew him. Good pressure, though, by the 49ers.
Well, if Sensor can come back, it'd be a big boost for the Vikings. He was a Pro Bowler as a rookie, simply outstanding. Since then, he's had 2 knee operations, and he's obviously lost a step or 2. Has to play with pain virtually every ball game, but a tremendous competitor. 3rd down, 4 needed for the 1st down. Vikings at their 26-yard line. 49ers showing blitz. Now they drop back off. They don't need a blitz, and they got Big Hands Johnson coming on that strong.
Boy, is that Johnson quick. What a great inside move he made that time on Curtis Rouse. And Curtis, the only thing he could have done was to grab him and hold him. Now watch the guard. In fact, this is Wes Hamilton, number 61. You see him. 97 took the rush inside, Gary did, and was clean right at the quarterback. Darn near got him before he threw the football.
Yeah, they got a pipeline here, I think, from San Diego. Big Hands is one of 5 former Charger players on this roster.
Wes Hamilton playing the left guard there instead of Curtis Rouse.
Of course, Dean's another one that they have. Right? Dean's been pretty good to him, I'd say. Dana McLemore deep waiting for the punt from Coleman and pulled off at the last second, decided to let it bounce. That cost the 49ers about 15 yards.
For an experienced punt returner, that is a real mistake. He should go ahead and take that football and just fair catch it, if nothing else.
58 yards on the punt by Coleman. Timeout. 3 bowl games coming your way on CBS. On the 22nd, Maryland meets Tennessee in the Sun Bowl. On December 31st, New Year's Eve, Purdue and Virginia in the Peach Bowl. And then on New Year's Day, Heisman Trophy winner Doug Flutie and BC meet Southwest Conference co-champion Houston in the Cotton Bowl. It'll be fun to watch Flutie play. It'll be fun to watch what he can do in the National Football League and where he'll be picked in the draft. 1st and 10, 49ers at their 15-yard line. Tyler is out of the ball game. Montana goes with the sideline throw, and Dwight Clark Can't quite hold on to it. Joey Browner, number 47.
They tried to stretch the zone, run the wide receiver up there, and then run the slot underneath it. You can see right now he's up there going to catch the ball, and more often than not, he's going to make that catch. But good defensive play before he got it tucked away, knocked the ball out.
Well, the Vikings shut the 49ers down on their first possession of the day. But after that, it has been all ice cream.
Relentless.
3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. 21 points, 21-7, San Francisco. 49ers with a 2nd and 7 from their 15. Montana still working on that long passing game. Completes the pass over on the far sideline to Ronaldo Nehemiah. The great runner.
This guy can fly, as we all know. See him on the left-hand side of the screen. Now look at it. He's got that sprinter speed, the hurdler. He's got Willie Teal, number 37, turn deep. Willie, I wouldn't let him get you that close. He goes ahead and gets up and gets the ball with his body. Willie Teal, number 37, finishes him off. You know, Willie's been hurt most of the year, and it's good corner though.
You worked out Ronaldo, did you not, when you were with the Eagles?
Worked him out, could see the real talent in him, but his agent wanted him to have a guaranteed contract, and we just didn't do that, so he went elsewhere.
And elsewhere being San Francisco, where they did give him that guarantee. 1st and 10, Montana. Nice defense that time by Chris Martin, number 56, who knocks it down.
Nehemiah really is, you know, has limited experience, not having played football prior to pro football, and, you know, all through college. And really, he's about equivalent to right now, Frank, I think, a senior in college in football experience. And next year should be a real year where he just really comes on strong.
As the 49ers have that great receiver depth. They've got a good backup in Mike Wilson. Of course, behind their starters, Freddie Solomon and Dwight Clark. 2nd and 10, 49ers at their 37-yard line. Clark to the right side. Montana looking for him. Couldn't find him and decides to run it and scrambles out beyond the 40-yard line, where Scott Studwell, number 55, wraps him up.
You know, Frank, it was interesting what Bill Walsh said about his receivers. He said they haven't been catching as many balls as they'd like to, but they've been ahead, you know, in the second half so far that it really wasn't ethical to go ahead and keep throwing the football to him.
Well, Clark this year, for example, has only caught 46 balls. That's the fewest he's caught since his rookie year. And that's one of the big reasons.
He caught 70 last year.
He's been averaging around 70. 3rd and 6, San Francisco at its own 40-yard line. Montana going long. Nehemiah is wide open. 6 points. Woo! Viking secondary. Nobody close to him.
That was one of those Bill Walsh specials. No back in the backfield, guy going in motion. One play designed to get the touchdown. It got it.
Wersching tacks on the extra point. Makes it 28-7, San Francisco.
Now here's Nehemiah right there in the middle of the screen, coming off the line of scrimmage in the slot. Now right there, people are playing zone on him, and for some reason now there was no safety down in there again, and you can see the speed he has, just locating the ball, gets it tucked in right now, and uses that hurdling speed to go on into the end zone.
It's adventure, but mostly it's laughs when Mel Brooks, Cleavon Little, Gene Wilder, Harvey Korman, and Madeline Kahn star in Blazing Saddles.
Joe Montana with a great first half, 11 out of 15 for 217 yards, making dinner reservations for tonight. As you look at the San Francisco scoring drive, 84 yards, and it took him just 5 players. And was Nehemiah ever impressive on that one?
He was. It was a great play. Great speed.
Wersching kicking off to Alfred Anderson. The rookie from Baylor is out to the 10, 15. Across the 20, 25, 30. Well, Wersching got close to making a tackle that time, but he backed off at the last minute.
He was in, hurry up, guys. Hurry up. Get over here. I don't want to make this tackle. Let's take a look at this on the chalkboard. Right now, there you see Ronaldo Nehemiah. He is going to come right down through here and hit the post. One of these two safeties, I think, was supposed to be deep middle and didn't get there. You'll see right here, Roger Craig go in motion. No back in the backfield. Very clever little play. Here he goes in motion. Montana goes back. Safeties, for some reason, did not go deep middle. Turned him loose down the hole. Touchdown. Breakdown in the coverage and also good execution.
Well done. 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line for the Vikings. Wade Wilson going over the middle, completes the pass to Mike Jones, and Jones pays the price. He stopped short of the first down at the 44-yard line. Jones, a second-year man from Tennessee State, who was a 6th-round draft choice last year. See number 78 there, Manu Tuiasosopo for the San Francisco 49ers. You had a thing going with the Samoans, didn't you?
Right. I recruited him myself. An outstanding guy, came from a great family. Manu Tuiasosopo, Terry Tatalo, Anthony Pau Pau, Frank Manamalayuna. How do you like that, huh? Pretty good mixing.
I'll tell you, pronouncing them is harder than recruiting them.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
2nd down, 3 at the 44-yard line. Again over the middle, Malarkey makes the catch. The tight end takes it across the 50 and has a Minnesota first down at the 44-yard line. Of course, recruiting all those guys, you got to get used to Samoan food, don't you?
You do. His Manu's mother, we called her Tui, really a nice lady. She had me over one time, Frank, for Samoan food, and it is different. I was eating this one thing. I said, "What is this?" And she says, "Well, that's a cooked banana." I'd never had a dried cooked banana, but it was good.
And you ate it and you smiled, right?
I raved about it. She was really a nice lady.
12-yard pickup on the play and a first down for the Vikings at the 44 of the San Francisco 49ers. 28-7. San Francisco leading during the second period. Wade Wilson under pressure gets it away, and that's an easy interception for the 49ers. Todd Shell, the rookie linebacker, number 1 draft pick, carries it back to the 49. Former star at Brigham Young University. And a real comer for this ball club. 14 yards on the interception return.
There's going to be pressure to the inside. See Dean, number 74, going inside. 97, Gary Johnson right there. He's got heat on him. He lays it up there. Todd Shell, number 90, comes and dissects the ball. Now he's on. He took that thing away. Get out. He's carrying a loaf of bread. That boy. Now he gets it stuck away, and here comes Wilson over to make the tackle. I like those quarterbacks that'll make the tackle when they throw the interception, Frank.
Dan?
Assistant coach Norb Hecker of the 49ers talking to his defensive troops. Don't forget, tomorrow's the day, the big doubleheader of the year, featuring action primarily in the NFC East. Most of you are going to see the Giants play St. Louis, and then the second half of the twin bill, the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys, both tied for first place along with the Giants in the NFC Eastern Division, which has got one of the wildest battles going in years. After the interception, 49ers with a first down at their 49-yard line. John Swain has come into the secondary for the Minnesota Vikings. Wendell Tyler, Craig in the backfield. Tyler over the right side to about the 46-yard line. In a big nose tackle for the Minnesota Vikings, Charlie Johnson. Can you believe that? Used to play for Dick. He left Dick because things got a little tough there, and he winds up with Les Steckel, and he's climbing ropes now.
I had a nice visit with Charlie. You know, Charlie did a great job of playing football for the Philadelphia Eagles when we were a good team, and he was one of the better players and an inspirational leader and a hard worker. He got down mentally there and wanted to get out of that kind of a situation. I'll tell you, he's happy right now, and he doesn't mind working hard again because he's just got himself squared away. Fine player.
Second down. Roger Craig. Short yardage at about the 45-yard line. Life at the nose tackle in the National Football League. Rather demanding.
You can see why. There he is, right there on the center, number 56. Now it's Charlie, number 65, trying to hold ground. He's got Randy Cross blocking him, too. He's got two guys. He's yelling for some help. But I'll tell you, I've seen him whip two people. I've seen this guy intercept 3 passes from the nose guard position in one season, Frank.
You know what Bob Golick of the Browns once said? He says, you ever get mad at your kid, do 2 things. Raise him to be a nose tackle or let him play in the freeway. Same thing. I mean, they get a lot of attention. Third down and 3. Montana in trouble behind the line. Scrambles loose, and the ball is trapped There's one case where the officials really had a good view of that particular play as Roger Craig trapped it.
I think that, let's see, which official is that over there? Jack Fetty. You know, he's got a couple digits on him, so he doesn't, you know, move too well over there.
4th down, and Montana ever so slightly gingerly leaving the field. Might be limping just a little bit.
Might have stretched the groin just a little bit there in that slide. That field is not as firm as a lot of real good turf field.
Max Runniger, another eagle of yours, doing the punting for the 49ers. Nice punt. That could bring rain. Nelson watches it land at the 10, takes a 49er bounce. It is going to be dropped at the 4-yard line. Down at the 4, and that's where the Vikings will put it in play with 3 minutes and 28 seconds left to play in the first half. Talk about great characters in this game. Hacksaw Reynolds, number 64. At the practice field yesterday, he's got his own box with his pencils in it. He's got chalk in it.
Well, here he's doing some coaching right now. You know, he hid chalk. He came out here early, and he hid chalk underneath the bench. Look at this. He brings that out early before all the players, hides it underneath the bench so he can do some coaching on the sideline.
He gets mad because the players steal his chalk, and in practice they ask him for a pencil, and then they'll break it in two in front of him just to give him a hard time. First down at the 5-yard line, and off Anderson out to about the 9. You know, Hacksaw also told us at home he watches movies in the garage. And as a result, this is when he was with the Rams. He watched the game movies, and every time he hit the start and stop and reverse switch, it would mess up the TV inside, and his wife's watching the soap operas. So it caused a little marital discontent for a while, but I think they finally got it worked out. 2nd down, 6 for the Vikings at their 10-yard line. Minnesota deep in the hole here in the first half, 28-7. Anderson trying to get loose, fights his way for a couple of yards out to the 12 or 13-yard line. Big hands, got his big hands on him. Johnson, number 97.
Old Jack Reynolds, though, you know, a lot of times a contribution made by a guy with his experience and his leadership ability is even more in the leadership side than it is the physical playing side. He inspires. I watched him. He coaches other young. Look at, he got his chalk. Come here, guys. I want to show you what I'm going to do. Now you go here, and I'm going to go here, and we'll shut these guys out. Look at him. On the practice field, he takes people over, and they go through things. And when the offensive period, you know, and he just talks about, look, he's growing his stunt right now. He says, now listen here.
If I'm off the field, I'm on the sidelines. I want to help any way I can. I think I'd make a great coach, wouldn't he?
Oh, he would. He has they say, a garage full of football notes that he's taken over the years. He and Jeff Van Odo ought to get together.
Right. 2-minute warning going to both benches, with San Francisco leading 28-7.
This NFL most...
Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. We could be back here in about 2 or 3 weeks, huh?
For a playoff ball game,
Could very well happen.
49ers are going to be home for all their playoff games.
They already know that right now. Minnesota's looking at a 3rd down and 4. And speaking of quarterbacks who were a moment ago, Wade Wilson has hit 6 out of 9 for 91 yards since he's come on in relief of Archie Manning.
He's impressive. You know, he had 80 completions for 53% coming into the ball game. So, you know, he can play. He just needs some help.
Over the middle to Malarkey for the first down, 20, 25, 30, and out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Nice play by the Vikings.
Did you see Todd Shell pull off the quarterback that time? He really had a shot at him and pulled off just in time. Now you can see the man going in motion. He's coming back. Darren Nelson, number 20, swinging out of the backfield. Little heat inside. Now, right there, the linebacker pulls off. Now with this guy, Mike Malarkey, Full of Malarkey, going up there, doing a nice job. He looks like a running back. Here's the linebacker pulling off. Look at him right there. Good job. Oh, that was not. That was Mr. McCall. That was Mr. McCall. I thought it was Todd Shell.
I believe it's McLemore. He's shaken up over there on the far side. So a 49er down in the field. The clock is stopped with 1:52 left to play in the first half. And San Francisco with a very comfortable cushion. The 49ers, the defensive back and kick returner, leaving the field here with just under 2 minutes left to play. Keep in mind, a week ago against the Redskins, the Vikings were down 31 at halftime, and they almost came back to come in that ball game. So they're looking at a 21-point deficit right now. And speaking of halftime, coming up, more on pro football. The state of the game. We'll have a roundtable discussion featuring some very prominent names in professional football. Dan Rooney of the Steelers, Nick Bonacani, the former Miami Dolphin linebacker, Will McDonough, the outstanding writer from Boston, and Brent Musburger, of course, will be on hand as well. That's upcoming at halftime. There's two quarterbacks from East Texas State in the NFL. Wilson and then Kyle Mackey, the rookie from St. Louis, who we saw last week. The pass intended for Jones on 1st and 10 is incomplete. And Jones got hit pretty hard the last time he caught the football, and I believe he heard the footsteps of one Dwight Hicks, number 22. So that sets up a 2nd and 10 for the Minnesota Vikings. That's the time remaining in the first half. We also talked to Steckel yesterday about that situation regarding Sammy White and Ted Brown. They will be back in the squad next week. He was pretty hot about it. Pass completed to Alfred Anderson out to the 42-yard line. He said the two guys were being excused this week, but he did dress them down in front of the squad. He didn't want it to get out, but it did get out, and so he obviously admitted it happened. He had the choice of putting them on injured reserve, suspending them, decided not to do it. And he said both players had come to him and apologized for what they did.
He said, well, you know, as a young coach, Dick, he says, wasn't totally aware of that IR rule. And you couldn't put him on the IR unless it's a 4-week period, Nick. There's only 2 weeks to go in the season. This guy is starting or trying to set standards in his program that he can build on and form a foundation on. And you have to do these kind of things to build a program when you take it over and change it. It doesn't mean the way that was done in the past was wrong. It's just the way it's going to be done in the future is different than it was done in the past.
He was an assistant here at San Francisco 6 years ago, before Bill Walsh.
Right.
Talking to Wade Wilson, his quarterback, and Tommy Kramer, just off the left edge of your screen there, who is the normal starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. He'll be out the rest of the year with a knee injury. And of course, injuries have been a big problem. Steckel brought him to camp. He did the Ironman routine and got criticized for it. Said he's going to do it again next year. And from talking to him, he's not backing off at all, is he?
No, he has a philosophy, and I think the one thing you've got to be as a coach is you've got to be yourself. And you only get so many opportunities to do it your way, and when you get the opportunity, you better do it your way. That's all there is to it.
Vikings have a 3rd and 6 at their own 42-yard line with 1:40 left to play in the first half. They have 2 timeouts left. Wilson on the reverse to Nelson. Got some blocking. 45, 50, 45, and out of bounds inside the 40-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. Tom Holmoe finally making the stop on Darren Nelson, the former first-round draft choice of the Minnesota Vikings.
This is a little unusual. Now watch the quarterback as he drops back, and Darren Nelson, number 20, will do a little reverse walk, come around, take the ball. Now he's working out there. He's got a block right there. He has number 64 out in front of him, Grant Fiesel. Look at this guy. He gets it out of bounds, gets the first down.
That's just a variation of the old Statue of Liberty, isn't it?
Yeah, the old reverse walk.
1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 39-yard line of San Francisco. Going long, intended for Leo Lewis. No flag thrown in the end zone as Mario Clark, number 29, was back there defending against the little Viking wide receiver. Lewis, 5'8" and 170 pounds.
Clark had this guy covered. I think he was concerned about his deep speed. He was turning and running really early in the pattern. You can see 29 right there. Mario Clark has him covered nicely right there. And I think people have been picking on Mario in recent ball games. And he's not the player that he used to be. You know, he was a #1 draft choice in 1976, was a fine player out of the University of Oregon. But he no longer has that great speed, so he gives a little more cushion.
His glory days were with Buffalo. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings at the San Francisco 39. Jones in motion. Wilson almost trips, dumps it off to Anderson. And Anderson is ridden out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Jeff Fuller making the stop for San Francisco. Hey, cornerback is still the loneliest position out there. Someone said you've got to have A long stride and a short memory to play the cornerback.
There's Mr. Lott, one of the fine corners in football. Has been a Pro Bowler, and he has a bad shoulder right now, and they just could not afford to play him today, but you'll see him in that first playoff game in a couple of weeks.
Well, this is the third straight ball game he has missed, but Bill Walsh said if it were a playoff game, he'd be in there. Third down and 7 for the Vikings at the San Francisco 35-yard line. The handoff is to the wide receiver, Leo Lewis.
Oh, he's like a little squirrel sneaking underneath those people, is he not?
Well, he takes it down to the 30. Going to be a little short of the first down. Again, with Jeff Fuller, the
Look at
rookie
it.
from Texas A&M on the stop. And Leo saying, I'm a receiver. I am not a running back.
Yeah. Here he is. You can see number 11 right there. Both guards pulling. He gets it handed off right there. Now he's got Wes Hamilton right there, 61. He's up inside Terry Toss, 66. And old Darren Nelson trying to do a blocking job for him. You see him sort of sneak underneath those big guys?
Tried his best, and he'll be close for the first down. He's about a yard shy at the 30-yard line. They're just about inside of Stenerud's range. Boy, he's been kicking. Coming up tomorrow, big NFL doubleheader on CBS Sports. A couple of crucial Eastern Division matchups will be featured. The first game of the Twin Bill for most of you, the New York Giants visiting the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a showdown, certainly for both sides. And then the second half, the Redskins and the Cowboys, and the buildup has been enormous in Texas Stadium. I know they're giving away 30,000 blue shakers tomorrow. Try to set up a blue wave thing to try to equal what the Redskins crowds do to the Cowboys. Take a look at the standings in the NFC East. You can see how close this thing is. If the Giants win their last two, they're in. Otherwise, it's a combination of things. If either of the first 4 teams in those standings still have a chance to win the division championship or go into the playoffs as a wild card. 4th and 1, they're going to go for it, Dick.
Darn right, they might as well.
Who needs a field goal? They haven't done badly on 4th downs, as you can see. It was the case last week against Washington. Vikings at the 49er, 30 on 4th and 1. Wilson wants to throw for it and then decides to run it, and it's going to be close.
I don't think he made it. Someone's upset out there.
Probably upset about the spot.
Oh, look at that. Steve Riley's all upset. It didn't look like he made it from here, but Nelson's mad too.
They're not even going to measure. Look at Riley. He's still going after the official.
He's an intense competitor and has been for 11 years in this league. Out of Southern California. I was an assistant coach at UCLA in 1970, and in fact, the offensive line coach for the 49ers, Bob McKittrick, was recruiting him to UCLA. What's he got, a cut arm there or what?
Short pass from Joe Montana, and a lot of punishment taken by the running back, who is Carl Monroe in this case, a second-year man from Utah, number 32.
Come and evaluate this program.
Of course, a 13-1 record will bring out a few folks. Big hole for Craig. Out across the 45 to the 46-yard line for the first down. Clock is moving at 45 seconds left to go, and now the 49ers stop it with a timeout.
You're going to see right in the middle of your screen, you're going to see a defensive lineman, number 91, go one way. The center takes him that way, opened up the hole. Now he's up in there. He makes a man miss right there. Oh, he didn't miss. Number 29, John Swain, makes the play. Here's another angle at it. See him come back, little draw, turns him out. He runs off the block of the center. Mr. Quinlan, he's up there. Tommy Hannon, 45, trying to come in and make the play. And John Swain makes his 51st tackle of the year right there.
17-yard pickup on the play, and the 49ers obviously enjoying themselves. The amazing thing, though, we talking about all these sellouts here, consecutive sellouts in San Francisco, and the fact they're 13-1, they still say they go to the Super Bowl this year, it's going to cost them, they're going to lose about $1 million. So that's a big factor, I think, to consider in the state of football. If you can't make money and you're playing like the 49ers, there's a lot of questions to be raised.
Well, yeah, I really believe this. And Mr. Toast used to say this to me, the owner of the Eagles. People are in the business because they have an ego and they really enjoy what they're doing. They're really not in it to make a lot of money. They just want to win football games.
First and 10 for the 49ers at their 47-yard line. Montana, who's had a great first half so far, goes with the short man, the tight end Earl Cooper at the 45 and down to the 40-yard line. That runs the clock to 33 seconds and counting.
Did you see Cooper use his running back skills on that after he caught the football? He again looked like the great running back out of Rice.
49ers are out of timeouts. First and 10 from the 40 of the Vikings. They go to Mike Wilson for the completion at the 36-yard line, and that stops the clock with 19 seconds left to play in the half.
Now watch Cooper right now. He's going to be the tight end. He's going to be the receiver on it. He's back there throwing. He has nice time. He's looking. He looks to his right. Now Cooper's crossing just across the bottom of your screen. He turns and throws it to him. There he is. Now watch him use his running back skills. Now watch him. Cha-cha-cha. Makes him miss. Scott Studwell misses him. A guy comes up from behind. I think that was Mr. Martin, Doug Martin, who made the tackle.
Second down. 49ers need 6 for the first down. Need another 10 to get inside of Worthing's range, probably. No timeouts left. Montana scrambling for his life. Heading to the sideline. Finally completes the pass. Now they say it's incomplete. He caught it out of bounds, did Mike Wilson. So bring it back to the original line of scrimmage. You know, there's also little love lost between these two organizations as we take a look at the end of the play here.
Here he goes. He just lays it out of bounds. I thought he caught it inbounds, to be honest with you. 1 foot down, 2 foot. He was in bounds, Coach. I'd have called that inbounds.
The officials didn't. And it's 3rd and 6 once again for San Francisco at the 37-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings. 10 seconds left.
He's in.
Ronaldo Nehemiah doing a good job.
See what I mean about this guy will just keep getting better as he gains that experience. That, you know, not playing much football, it takes a lot longer to be a receiver than people think. I really think it usually takes at least 3 years of pro ball before you become the receiver that you have the ability to be. And this guy runs like a gazelle.
Field goal unit is on. That's Ray Worthing, who is the scoring leader in the National Football League. 111 points coming into this game. But he's missed his last 5 field goal attempts. This will be a 41-yard effort. Montana to put it down.
He's batting 650 from this distance.
Looking good, and is good.
Yeah, that might have been a 9-iron hook shot down. You see that ball curve? Just curved right on around, and on in it goes. Take a look at this again. Now watch him. He's going to come across as a sidewinder does. The ball snapped. He gets it down nicely right there. Now watch this ball start outside to the right and then coming on. It's to the left as you look at it. Look at it curve on in there. That's how my 5-iron looks, Frank. All the time.
Wound up splitting the uprights with 3 seconds left to play in the half, and it's a 31-7 San Francisco lead. I believe the 49ers are ready for the playoffs. I can't believe that Bill Walk's going to be too unhappy about anything after this football game, the way things have gone for them so far.
Knowing Bill, if they don't come out and play in the second half with the same relentless attacking philosophy, he'll be upset with them. That's all there is to it. When you've coached as long as he has, you never really feel satisfied, especially when you're striving to win that 15th game and all that kind of stuff. Like they'd like to go ahead and beat the Rams next week if they can and do something that nobody else has done.
And the Bengals, I bet, remember this guy from the job he did kicking on in the Super Bowl.
You bet.
Worthing with 3 seconds to master the squib kick. There's a real knuckleball for you. Goes down to Nelson at the 5. Back to the 15-yard line. Across the 20 as time has run out here in the first half. So that's it. At the end of the first half at Candlestick Park, 49ers lead the Vikings 31-7. Dick Vermeil and I'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Not only do the Vikings trail 31-7, but they have to kick off to the San Francisco 49ers. Jan Stenerud, high deep kick. Coming down to Derek Harmon. The rookie takes it back to the 15, across the 20, to the 24-yard line. And we've got a marker down.
Maurice Turner, number 24, Frank, was offside. A little anxious to get down there, running back from Utah State. He was ahead of the kicker and the ball.
Joe Montana had a spectacular first half for the 49ers. 15 out of 21 for 246 yards.
It's not a bad first half production. You know, we still can't hear the official. It's Gordon McCarter doing the best he can.
It's interesting to listen to that panel discussion at halftime, and I would agree the game's in pretty good shape as long as these guys can keep losing money and smiling, all these owners, right?
You have to have a sense of humor.
There is a little bitterness between these two organizations. In fact, Mike Lynn, who is the general manager of the Vikings, was quoted as saying that the way the 49ers are escalating salaries, they're as much an enemy to the NFL as anybody in the USFL, which I thought was a little bit strong.
Well, I think maybe Minnesota better start spending some money and signing some of those picks, because the coach is ultimately the guy that takes the blame for losing.
Well, the 49ers lost 3 players to the USFL, and after that they said no more. And they signed everybody in sight, and they signed them apparently to pretty hefty contracts. And Jim Fonhorst, one of the injured 49er linebackers, who is Viking property, was the subject of some controversy. Again, the rookie, Harmon, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50.
Oh.
Harmon is tripped up by Jan Stenerud, the kicker, at the 46-yard line.
You can see why Bill Walsh told us this young man is more than a brilliant young man. He's physically gifted and can run with a football, and he just demonstrated that there. Now watch this run back. He's got the ball tucked away. He's starting upfield looking for the block. He's going to make a little plant move right there and start back for the middle of the field. Makes a man. Look at that nice move, Frank. That looks like you. There he goes. He shakes a tackle right there. Gets a nice block. He's in the open. And watch who makes this tackle. Stenerud goes ahead and makes a tackle. Not perfect form, but he gets him down.
Second string quarterback Matt Cavanaugh will start the second half for the 49ers. Roger Craig taking the handoff down to the 42-yard line. They've also got the second set of wide receivers in there, and Ronaldo Nehemiah and Mike Wilson. There's Cavanaugh, of course, played several years at New England. Played his college football at Pitt in his 7th year in the National Football League. Made one start this year, and that was against the Eagles when Montana missed some action.
He was 17 for 34 and 3 touchdowns and 252 yards in that game. He is an example of Bill Walsh's ability to bring ability out of that quarterback position in person.
Second and 6 needed for the first down. Cavanaugh over the middle to Earl Cooper for the first at the 36-yard line, and the fans start chanting Coop, 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 Coop.
At first you think they're booing. You know, that's what my first impression was. Then I realized what they were doing.
Scott Studwell was shaken up for the Minnesota Vikings, the linebacker getting up slowly. Well, do you agree with Walsh here on taking your first team or a lot of it out at this point?
Darn right, but like he says, Dick, I have better talent than I've ever had, and the people I put in play darn near as well.
First and 10, Nehemiah in the slot up at the top of the screen, and Dwight Clark outside of him in this particular play. Harmon dips inside, then goes out to about the 33-yard line. We'd like to take a good look at Harmon. Hasn't seen that much action. His high game this year was 5 carries for 29 yards against the Cleveland Browns. He was the player of the year in the Ivy League last year at Cornell, and a 9th-round draft choice.
You know, Harmon came into this ball game averaging 26 yards of kick return. Hey, there's Russ Francis. I didn't know for sure he was going to be in uniform today. Did you think?
No, he was activated just yesterday afternoon prior to the deadline to fill the roster spot when Jim Fonhorst, the linebacker, went down with a knee injury. And it was Russ Francis who was a little rusty. He jumped offside there. Craig took the handoff, went out of bounds. But you saw the tight end there take a step early.
He had a neck injury, not a serious one, but an injury that he missed some ball games, and now he's back, and his concentration not being right now what it should have been.
Francis is one of those guys who marches to the beat of a different drummer, as they say, right?
I guess so. I'll tell you, in watching him practice Thursday, is he gifted in terms of ability to run without any real effort, Frank. He just sort of glides full speed and can do things with his body that normally the 180-pounder can do. But this guy is a big man at 6'6", 245 pounds.
Illegal motion is the call by Gordon McCarter, the referee. It is on Russ Francis. And the Vikings will decline the penalty, which will set up a 3rd and 7. for the San Francisco 49ers. Ball is at the 31-yard line of the Vikings. Dwight Clark to the right side. Nehemiah is split to the left. Kavanaugh buried behind the line. That's the first sack of the day for the Minnesota Vikings. They got only their 15th sack of the year.
49ers have been sacked 22 times on the year, now 23, Frank, really. Unless my stats are different than yours or wrong.
Well, but that's I'm saying it from a defensive standpoint.
Oh, excuse me.
15th sack of the year. They're not in there at all in that area. All right. That sets up a 4th down situation. Runiger was run into. A flag goes down. And the 49ers are going to get the football back. Nice kick, nevertheless.
He's got it dead on the 4-yard line. Max is doing a real nice job. Max Runiger is an example of a guy that fine punter had his best year last year. Here it is now. Watch. He gets it tucked away. He's going to pop it up high, trying to drop it inside that 5-yard line. And there, in exuberance, coming in, goes ahead and runs into the punter. You just can't do that, Mr. Dwight Collins, I think it was.
That's who it was.
Yeah. Here's another look. You'll see him coming around now. 84 right in the middle of your screen. Dwight Collins. He reaches out. He goes diving up right there. Max is still in the air, and he gets that leg. Boy, I tell you, that's a good way to get hurt. Here's another shot. Look at this. Oh, see that knee right there?
Really jerked it back, as you could see. It's a 49er first down after the penalty yardage at the 34-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings. We're early in the 3rd period. San Francisco leading 31-7. Kavanaugh. Sideline throw wide open to Dwight Clark at the 15-yard line. That's a first down.
Dwight Clark pushed him just deep enough to get the guy turned and running out of there. Now Dwight Clark's on the left-hand side of your screen, coming off the line of scrimmage, pumping his arms. Notice the forward body tilt. He just keeps him moving. Look at that distance. It's Rufus Bess is off him. He's giving that big cushion. Very easy reception. Good timing on the throw. Now watch how much time he has to throw this ball. He's just sitting there looking, waiting. Hey, hurry up, get open. There he goes. He lets it go. Nice delivery. First down.
First down at the Viking 14-yard line. Wilson to the right side. Nehemiah to the left for Mike Wilson, who can't reach it. That'll set up a 2nd and 10. Back there defending for the Minnesota Vikings, John Swain, number 29.
And John, that's John Browner.
Joey Browner.
40. Yeah, Joey Browner, number 47. Look at the end of the play here. He's way up in the air trying to get it. And let's see what happens to Browner. Here he is. He's coming in and got pulled down right there by the receiver, I guess trying to prevent. And then his own man comes over and falls on him out of bounds, John Swain.
2nd and 10. Wilson this time to the left side up at the top of your screen, and Nehemiah down at the bottom. 49ers from the I formation. Harmon, 15, 10, and pulled out at the 8-yard line.
Little nice misdirection there in the backfield, froze those inside linebackers, and he darn near got outside.
Tommy Hannon making the stop out of the secondary of the Minnesota Vikings, and they'll spot it at the 9-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 5 needed for the San Francisco 49ers. There's Joe Montana and Bill Walsh. Joe's got the baseball cap on, so indications are he might be through for the day.
Norb Hecker, the linebacker coach, standing right next to him. You know, Norb Hecker, I think, was the original head football coach of the Atlanta Falcon franchise. Was that right?
He was one of the coaches. I don't know if he was the original. I'll have to look that up. No. Kavanaugh completing the short toss that time to the running back Derek Harmon. Scott Studwell 55 and Rufus Bess number 21 in the stop. That'll set up a 4th down situation. And Wershing comes on with the field goal unit. He hit 1 in the first half from 41 yards out, breaking his string of 5 straight misses. This will be considerably closer. Kavanaugh will put it down at the 50, which will make it a 25-yard effort.
He hasn't missed one this year from this distance. 7 for 7. Is it 8 for 8? Yeah, it's 8 for 8.
Still got it going. So the 49ers get 3 points out of their first possession of the second half. It's San Francisco 34, Minnesota 7. We'll be back at Candlestick Park in just a moment. Well, it is that kind of ball game, isn't it?
It is that kind of game. Do you think who cares? Does she care who wins this ball game?
I don't think she would have cared regardless of what the score would have been right now.
In about 2 years, though, she'll care about these 49ers because everybody does in San Francisco.
They lead at 34-7, and Wersching is getting ready to kick off. Darren Nelson is deep, so is Alfred Anderson as the ball blows off the tee.
Nice kick. Got it up in the air.
Anderson at the 5, back to the 15, 20, and up to the 23-yard line. Again, as you mentioned a moment ago, big doubleheader in the National Football League tomorrow. We've got it for you right here on CBS. The first game of the Twin Bill. Most of you will see the Giants play the Cardinals in St. Louis. Both teams entertaining hopes for a division championship there. Green Bay, Chicago, of course, the other game. And the Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys will complete your afternoon. I think it's going to be worth watching. I don't know what the latest is on John Riggins.
I believe he will play.
Yes. Now, the Cowboy people were saying this week, they recall a time when you said that Wilbur Montgomery might not play in the NFC Championship game.
We weren't sure he was going to, believe it or not.
All he did was gain 197 yards. Here's Nelson. Out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Frank, I think the more you can do with your offense to get this guy the ball out in the perimeter of the defense, out in those other zones, and give him that one-on-one shot to attack defenders like that play, I think the better off they're going to be with their offense, say, next year in the future when they're redesigning things.
We've been talking about the 49ers on their way to possibly winning 15 games, first time in history. Vikings lose here, they'll have lost 12, and that's never happened to them before. For every positive, there's a negative. Second down, 6 for Minnesota. From the 27, Wade Wilson. Off to Nelson. Nelson playing hurt, nevertheless has played extremely hard, and the Vikings have him a first down. Obviously, he's a big part of the Minnesota future under Les Steckel. And talking to Steckel yesterday, he indicated in the draft next year we are going for defense, and more defense.
And more defense. He has to do that. Is Darren Nelson signed to a contract, or is he playing out his option?
Who?
Darren Nelson.
He's playing out his option, so that's they're going to have to sign him. And there have been some rumors out here that the 49ers might be interested, and that would further, I'm sure, separate those two organizations if indeed that's the case. Third down. Nelson did not get the first down, just a little bit short. Third and less than a yard from the 33. Anderson trying to pick up the first, and it'll be close. Anderson doing a good job protecting the football. That is leveled by Todd Shell, number 90, and Tom Holmoe, number 28. Shell, number 1 draft pick, Brigham Young. There's Les Steckel talking to Leo Lewis, the wide receiver. Son, Steckel does not look old enough to be out of college. Look at him, does he?
Well, he's fortunate. He'll probably look that way when he's 48 years old, 49 and 50. He's very high on this running back that just carried the ball, Alfred Anderson. He thinks he's going to be a real good player in the future of their program.
Steckel, 38 years old, going on 88. The season that he's been through, there's the numbers on the quarterback, Wade Wilson, since coming on in relief of Archie Manning, who was shaken up in the first half. Rainbow for Lewis. Eric Wright, number 21, the right quarterback, defending.
Now let's take a look. Right there on your screen, you're going to see number 21, Eric Wright, working one-on-one on Leo Lewis, number 87. Now look at the coverage. He gives him a little in move, then back up to the outside. Watch out for that elbow. Now he has the recovery speed. Now he turns and looks for the ball, goes for it at his highest point right there, going out after it. Nice job. Probably should have intercepted it. Eric Wright, fine play by the defensive left corner. You know that he has 15 career PIs, pass interceptions. That's a lot.
He may be the most underrated of the 49er secondary.
Very well could be. Ronnie Lott gets a lot of, the attention.
Second and 10 for the Vikings at their 34-yard line. Leo Lewis in motion. Again, Wade Wilson under pressure up to the 35 and slides to a halt at the 40-yard line after picking up close to 5 on the play.
He's not a bad scrambler. You know, he's scrambled a few times through the year, and he's averaging about 4 yards a scramble, 3.5 yards. So he has some mobility.
Again, the guy they missed, though, is Kramer.
Oh, you bet you miss Kramer. There he is. Where was he standing there on the sideline?
Yeah, he was indeed.
There he is with that. You can't hardly see him there. He's got a little hat on. There, you see that hat right there? A little chaw tobacco in there.
Third down. Vikings need 4 for the first from their 40. Mike Jones, number 89, in motion. Wilson, look out. Ooh, gets rid of the ball, and that should be good for the first down. As he completes the pass to Joe Sensor, number 81, the tight end, at the 46-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings, 1st and 10. Big Fred Dean, number 74. One of the demands reportedly that he made in his new contract was a 25-year supply of season tickets. Is that a little strong?
And they have a waiting list right here of 5,000.
A waiting list of 5,000 fans to buy season tickets.
At least he intends to live in the area.
1st and 10. Vikings at their 46, trailing 34-7. 6.5 left in the third quarter. The defensive back slipped and fell, but it mattered little at this point. It's Mike Jones, number 89. Couldn't hold on to it.
You'll see right there Mario Clark at the top of your screen backing off. The receiver has given him a nice cushion. He just turns to the outside, and then he slips and falls. In fact, that's not Mario Clark playing corner. Who's that playing corner right now? The free safety, Dwight Hicks, number 22, playing corner.
Well, Hicks has played some corner in place of Ronnie Lott, and they played a little bit of safety. I think some people feel Lott may eventually wind up being a safety.
Yeah, boy, he's tough to replace at that corner position.
2nd and 10 for the Vikings at their 46-yard line. And the 30-second clock has just recycled, and Wade Wilson a little bit hot about it. Delay of game against the Minnesota Vikings. Wilson, 8th round draft pick back in 1981 from East Texas State. He was in Commerce, Texas, East Texas. You know, you couldn't have a bigger contrast than Bud Grant and Les Steckel. You wonder if maybe he's gone a little bit too far trying to change it around in 1 year.
Well, I'll tell you this, you can't start changing it gradually because you have to do what you're going to do right now. That's all there is to it. I believe if you're going to do things the way he's doing it, you got to do it now, and that's what he's done.
From the shotgun, they've got the blitz coming after Wilson, and down he goes for the big loss at the 23-yard line. Fierce rush that time. Dwayne Board, number 76, blowing through there for the 49ers.
Coming from the end zone, you'll see him in the shotgun, which normally will give you a little better cushion. There's a stunt coming on the right side of your screen. Here comes Board around the outside right now. He reaches out there, and there he goes, getting his 9th sack of the year. Dwayne Board, a very tough, intense competitor.
A huge loss on the play. We'll move it back to the 23-yard line. Loss of 18 yards. It is now 3rd and 33. Nelson, 25. It's a block from Jones across the 30 and up to the 34-yard line. That's a give-up play, isn't it, on 3rd and 33?
No, well, you're going to prevent the turnover. Everyone's sitting back there like that. That's a good sound call. That's why I mentioned it right before they ran it. Chances are you're going to do that because you don't want to throw the interception there and then go ahead and give them another 6 points on it.
Coleman coming on to do the punting for the Minnesota Vikings, and McLemore, who was shaken up early.
This guy's a fine punt returner, number 2 in the NFC, averaging 11.5 yards a return right now. Had a 79-yard touchdown return. Let's see what he does with this one.
It's a returnable ball. McLemore, 30, 40, up to the 49-yard line. And he is zapped at that point by Sensor.
He does take it upfield.
So excellent field position for the San Francisco 49ers as they begin their next series with 5 minutes and 14 seconds left to play in the third period, and the 49ers with a comfortable 27-point cushion. You know, Dick, one of the statements of the State of the Art feature was officiating. Now look at this call, or non-call.
Right here, this should have been roughing the punter. That should have been called, and an experienced guy like Gordon McCarter, the referee, should have called that. I don't know why he didn't. You cannot run into the kicker. That's all there is to it.
That was Blanchard Montgomery, number 52, ran into the punter Greg Coleman. And McElmore comes up with the big return, and the 49ers have a 1st and 10 at their 49-yard line. Kavanaugh quarterbacking for San Francisco after Montana had an outstanding first half. Derek Harmon on the carry. 49ers offense has been virtually flawless all afternoon.
That's pretty efficient.
I'd say so.
I
4
wonder
touchdowns. I mean, we still got a quarter and something to go.
I wonder if that fits into Bill Walsh's term, as we want a relentless offense.
They went for the juggler by halftime, up 31-7. 2nd and 5 for the 49ers. At the 46-yard line of Minnesota, giving the rookie some work. Harmon carries down to the 42-yard line.
49ers have run a large number of draw plays all through this game, starting right out in the first quarter.
You know, watching Dwight Clark work today, he shows no signs at all of that knee injury, which sidelined him last year. And I remember him saying that he knew immediately the operation was a success when he woke up in the recovery room and the surgeons were doing high fives.
Oh, my God. Is that the truth?
That's the truth. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the truth, but that's what he said.
Well, you know his knee is sound because he has an 80-yard touchdown to his credit this year. And you don't catch those kind of things in the National Football League unless your knee is really sound.
3rd and a yard needed for the first down for the 49ers at the Vikings 82-yard line. They go with Craig, and a big hit on Craig by Scott Studwell, number 55. As he drags Studwell forward a bit, we'll have an official timeout. Studwell, it's got to be hard for guys like that who have been with the winners in Minnesota.
Oh, I know. You know, this guy is an intense competitor. Now watch him now. Number 55 standing to the right of your screen. Now look at him attack. He sees it, number 55. He's sorting him out. Boom. He gets his pads on him. He's working his feet. He's trying to pull him back. Nice job, Scott Studwell. Nice job. You know, that guy broke Dick Butkus's single-season tackling record in college. So you see, he's used to hitting people.
Unfortunately, he didn't hang on enough because they picked up the first down.
He needed someone there to help. He's right there to polish him out.
1st and 10 with the nose of the ball just beyond the 40-yard line, and players jumping offside all over the place. So Gordon McCarter, the referee, will bring him back. The Vikings nosedive, the illegal procedure against the 49ers, really started last year when they lost 6 of their last 8 games under Bud Grant. And of course, now the rebuilding job. Take a look at the comparison here. The 49ers in their Super Bowl year, their offense compared to now, they're really doing better.
They really are. They're averaging 60 yards more a game, 40 yards more passing, 40 more running, 20 more passing. You know what they're doing? They're scoring 7 points more a ball game. And, you know, that's comparing it with a world championship football team.
Which they may be again the way things are going. 1st down and 15. 49ers from the Viking 45. Kavanaugh doing a good job ducking underneath and getting it downfield to Russ Francis. And that's close to another 1st down at the 30-yard line. Good play on both ends there.
Nice job. I'll tell you, he's learning from Joe Montana. Now watch him duck underneath. The quarterback is under the heat. Good hard rush up inside. Martin, and then there's another guy. He ducks underneath him. He goes ahead and just lays there. Impromptu move. Russ Francis gets it tucked away. Nice job.
How about Martin making the dive there and coming up with nothing but air?
That was something.
He took off. Close enough for measurement. Now we'll take a look at the defensive comparison of this year's 49er team with the Super Bowl team a couple of years ago. And you can see it's rather interesting.
They're giving up fewer yards per game. They're sacking the quarterback right here, as it says, a little bit more. Their average points is down. See, they're a better football team. They're allowing a few more passing yards, but they're still allowing fewer points per game, about 1.6 points per game.
Pickup of 14 yards on the pass play, and this man responsible for putting that offense together, Bill Walsh. 2nd down, a matter of inches for the 1st down. The Viking 30-yard line. Kavanaugh doing a good job of scrambling. Gets rid of it downfield and trying to get it down to Mike Wilson, who couldn't reach it at the 5-yard line. Cavanaugh impresses me with his ability to move around back there.
Does a good job. You can see he's been on the practice field a long time with Joe Montana, and some of that ability to handle the broken play is rubbing off on him. He's got his coaching hat on right now.
I read in the paper Joe's getting married.
Is he really?
Yep, next year.
That's the second time?
I don't keep track of those things. You'll have to check the social columns for that. Third down, less than a yard needed for the first down. Wilson wide to the right side. Starts in motion. And on 3rd and 1, they go to Craig with the little toss. He's got the first and a couple of more as he moves forward to the 27-yard line. Matt Blair, number 59. There's a great Viking veteran for you, making the stop on that particular play.
Matt Blair, he's been in the Pro Bowl, 6 consecutive years up to 1983. He's been a fine player, and, he's been also one of these kind of guys that makes a great contribution to the community. In fact, Frank, he runs a football camp for the disadvantaged children in the area every summer on his own.
One of the premier kick blockers in years past in the National Football League. 1st and 10, San Francisco. They're at the Viking 27-yard line. Cavanaugh, sideline throw and a diving attempt by Ronaldo Nehemiah. Couldn't hold it that time, and it goes as an incompleted forward pass. Cavanaugh has played the entire second half, completed 5 out of 8 so far, 48 yards. You think Walsh is called off the dogs? I'm amazed they're throwing as much as they have in the second half with this big lead.
Well, that's their offense. I'll guarantee you they have far more passes in their game plan than they do running plays. That's their offense. And Bob McKittrick, who's the offensive line coach over here, directs the running game. They like to run the ball, but first thing, Bill's going to throw.
2nd and 10. San Francisco at the Viking 27. The pitch to Craig. Drives forward to the 20-yard line. One of the Vikings, Doug Martin, number 79, got a hand on his jersey. But you better get more than that trying to stop Craig. Here's an old friend of yours, Fred McNeil, who's sitting this one out with an injury.
Right. He's a fine linebacker. Has been there for a number of years, and he and Matt Blair have been, a fine pair of outside backers over the years. Matt Blair, 11 years. Fred McNeil, 11 years. I recruited Fred to UCLA when I was an assistant. Got to know his family real well. I recruited his older brother, Rod McNeil, to US. He went to USC. I was recruiting him to Stanford.
But what did Fred tell us last night? You recruited me and then you left.
Well, the head coach went to the Rams and I needed work.
3rd and 2. 49ers at the 19-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings. The rookie, Derek Harmon, made the wrong decision that time and paid the price. Good hit by Robin Senline, number 57.
He put the pad to him pretty good, Robin did.
So on comes Worthing and the field goal unit. Senline, former University of Texas star.
I think being a geology major, Sedline likes playing on natural turf.
Well, most players do. They'll still tell you nothing like it. 38 on this field goal effort by Worthing. To go with a 41 and 25 he kicked earlier, certainly got the distance. He's perfect. So Worthing is 3 for 3.
He's got his rhythm back, Frank.
Timeout. 44 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. And the 49ers have it in cruise control. Gathering clouds over Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil. Just seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. And the 49ers have been impressive as they kick off to Darren Nelson from the end zone. Out to the 15, 20. Pretty good hitting going on down there as he takes it back to the 25-yard line. And the Vikings will go to the offense. 1st and 10 and deep in the hole once again. Trailing the 49ers 37-7. Timeout. Here by Alfred Anderson on the return deck.
Shows you how important it is to have a guy back there with the other returner. He gave Blanchard Montgomery a real love tap there, Frank. He really put him down, and it allowed him to get back up inside, and then the 49ers rally and polish him off.
1st and 10 for the Vikings at their 25-yard line with 32 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. Mike Jones in motion. Wilson goes with the short throw to Nelson. Look at him in the open field. Great juke job on a couple of defenders by Darren Nelson, who was finally run out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
You could spend the whole off season designing ways for him to get the ball out there. He is on the backside of a fake. C20 now coming now. He's going to make a little fake. Now watch him. Just watch him. Now he's going to check down. The quarterback's going to turn back and throw it to him. There he is. Now watch the mobility of this guy. Look at him plant those feet. Now watch him make this guy miss. Watch. Boom, boom. He gets out outside, gets a nice block, and now this guy has sprinter speed. He can really move. He long jumped 26 foot in college. That's pretty good. Now look at this. Here he's coming back at you. Imagine yourself trying to tackle that guy. Get him the ball in the open field.
1st and 10 for the Vikings at their 43-yard line. Again, Wilson back to throw it, pumps it, gonna get rid of it. Dwayne Board, number 76, circling around and gets another sack. Back at the 35-yard line. The 49ers, you get one pump and that's about it. Huh?
Yeah, I think I kept saying, hey, get rid of that ball, let it go, because you're taking too much time, because Steve Riley couldn't hold him out that long coming around from the backside, and Dwayne Board gets him. That's sack number 10 now.
Board started with the Steelers, as I recall, and wasn't room for him on the roster at that time. Wound up with the 49ers, and he's turned it an excellent end.
That's his 39th and a half career sack.
And that's 6 now. By the 49ers this afternoon. Time running out here in the 3rd quarter. The 49ers going to let the clock go along with the Vikings.
Frank, do you know that the computer tells us this year that a sack is worth 3.5 points for everyone you get more than your opponent?
I believe it. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. That's our score. We now pause for a word from your local station. 2nd and 17. Vikings at their 35 as we start the last quarter. Anderson on the draw, and it just wasn't there. Is big Louis Kelcher, and you talk big. You're talking Louis Kelcher.
This guy's half a house. Look at the size of him. Now watch Kelcher right there, the right-hand side of your screen. He's right there on Terry Tausch, number 66, working away around there on a little stunt. He gets him down. You're not going to run forward when 315 pounds grabs a hold of you. You know, and he's lost 50 pounds.
Well, Louis, he admitted to being 340 when he came to camp.
Yeah, he might have been more.
He's played a lot of years at San Diego, another part of that San Diego pipeline to San Francisco. 3rd down and 18. Wilson delivers a bullet over the middle. Juggling catch made by Dwight Collins, who is the 3rd wide receiver. Former Pitt star, but not nearly enough for the 1st down, quite obviously. And the Vikings will be punting. Keena Turner and Jeff Fuller collaborating on the stop.
He's a Dallas native. One of your hometown guys.
Absolutely. McLemore back to return the punt of Coleman. Nice kick. McLemore at the 15, up to the 20, 25, hit at the 27-yard line. I don't believe I'd like to make my living as a punt returner. No, watching these guys.
They usually don't do it too long, Frank.
No, sir. Timeout with 13:37 left in the game. 49ers own the football and a very comfortable lead here with 13:37 to go. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Some of the fans have begun to leave here, this capacity crowd. 49ers will wrap up their season next Friday night here against the Los Angeles Rams, team in which Eric Dickerson could break the rushing record. Nehemiah on the receiving end of that toss from Kavanaugh up to the 47-yard line. Joey Browner on the stop.
And you wondered if they were going to come out and run?
You wonder about that, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, the 49ers, of course, if they win 15, no one's ever done that before. There have been several teams who have won 14 games in a season. In fact, there have been 4. Here's 3. Now, give me the 4th one.
Go ahead. Nobody will guess it.
Nobody will guess it.
Frankfurt Yellow Jackets. You know what? I meet people in the Philadelphia area that saw those people play.
Pitch going to Bill Ring. And Ring around the left side.
Ring around the left side. Oh, God.
That's like Ring around the collar.
Yeah. This guy is a real competitive guy at 5'10", listed at 5'10". I saw him yesterday, and I might be able to eat soup off his head, you know, really. And I'm only 6'4". But he really is an intense competitor, Frank. The fans like him. The squad really respects him. He's their #1 special teams player. You give him a job to do, he gets it done well.
He won that Len Eschmock Award. Yes, a very, very prestigious award out here, given the most courageous player each year. 2nd down and 3. Trying to get outside is Harmon. have enough for the first down at the 42-yard line of the Vikings. Joey Browner shoves him out of bounds. You know, it looks like the 49ers are throwing a lot. And they are, but they're also running a lot.
Well, they also do some good throwing on those early run downs, so it misleads you. Plus, they're efficient with it, and they just keep moving the ball, but you tend to see the pass more and remember it more because they are a little bit more spectacular on those post patterns for touchdowns.
First, the balance is what every coach wants to accomplish, isn't it?
You bet.
So they don't know where you're coming from. And, of course, he wanted to work on the long passing game, and that's worked out nicely. Nehemiah has caught 4 for 111 yards. First down from the 43. That's Nehemiah with another catch. And he is necktied over on the far side, and that causes a flag.
Nehemiah right now just equaled the best game of his career of 5 receptions. Here, just a little quick action away. Oh, a little discussion.
I think they threw it because of the hit to the head. We'll see.
You see that official Dean look? Number 49, really a good official. Nehemiah right there at the right-hand side of your screen. Look at the cushion that defender's giving him. Just a little hitch pass. He catches the ball. Now he becomes a running back. No longer a hurdler. He's a running back. Joel Browner, number 47, comes up, puts him out of bounds. I still don't see any reason for a penalty.
Watch the hit to the head.
Joey Browner right. Oh, yeah. Threw that arm around across. Headshot, 15-yard penalty. Personal foul.
And that'll move the 49ers to the Vikings 17-yard line with a 1st and 10. Mike Wilson wide to the right side. They've got Nehemiah split to the left. Facing off with Rufus Best this time. Vikings showing blitz. Pitch to Ring. Man does not care much about his body, does he?
No, he does not. I tell you, the Minnesota dogged the linebackers up inside. They got a block by the halfback, Derek Harmon, number 2. Here, now watch the right side blocking now. You can see number 62, McIntyre, coming off the center, does a nice job. A nice combination block. They get Ashley tripped right there. Did you see him reach out and trip him? Guy McIntyre didn't take too long to learn, did it? He's just a rookie.
2nd down. 49ers need 2 for the first down at the Vikings 9-yard line. Harmon gets down to about the 5. Catching up to him again, Scott Studwell, the 8-year veteran.
Here we are. Now watch the quarterback reverse pivot and toss the ball. There, he's going to toss it out there. Now the running back's coming out there. John Ars, number 68, is going to take on Rufus Best. Outweighs him by about 150 pounds. Gets up inside. The rest of the defense rallies and puts him down.
1st and goal to go from the 5-yard line. Take a look at it from ground level. He was right on the sideline. This is the way it would look like. Ring. Down to about the 2. Tommy Hannon, number 45, the safety coming up to make the hit. The 8-year veteran from Michigan State. You got to believe that Bill Walsh is a happy man the way things have turned out today. And
I believe he'll be happy. I believe he'll be happy.
Well, he certainly wasn't last week. Despite the fact they won the ball game, he was unhappy with the team's offensive performance. The defense played great. The offense didn't have a good day. Walsh should be unhappy. From ground level, Harmon for the touchdown. He's over. Derek Harmon, 9th-round draft pick from Cornell, gets the TD. Is that his first touchdown? That's the reason he's hanging on to the ball?
He did not score a touchdown this year. That's his first one in his career. Look at him hang on to that. I'm going to take that one home and have it gold-plated, he said.
I bet he makes sure that that one gets somewhere for safekeeping. His first NFL touchdown. Worthing on to try the extra point. He's got it. Take a look at it again. Fine run by the rookie Harmon.
They're in a little short slot right out there. You can see Ring, number 30, getting the block. They're supposed to go on outside. He sees the hole back up inside. He comes off number 56, Fred Quinlan's block, to get into the end zone. Good vision right there, Frank. Turned it back up just in time.
Well, a big day for Wendell Tyler of the 49ers, who becomes the club's single-season rushing champion. There he is.
Yeah, I'll tell you, a similar situation. The end of the ball game, Rose Bowl game, he has a chance to break the rushing record in the game and doesn't want to go back, and he says, the win is more important, Coach.
Anderson feeling the kickoff from Wurzing for the touchback in the end zone, and the Vikings will take over at the 20. You hear a lot of flack about this stadium, a lot of rumors that they're going to try to build a downtown football stadium, but at this point, it's been all talk.
I tell you, when you're winning in a place, you might as well stay here and win.
Well, this is one of the last of the wood-burning NFL stadiums. Timeout. Back in just a moment.
The Dallas Cowboys have not played in the last 4 Super Bowls, and this year there were questions that Tom Landry might leave. But he's coming back, and we'll have that story tomorrow on the NFL Today.
It is a laugher for the San Francisco 49ers, who lead it 44-7. Vikings have a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Wade Wilson running the show, 14 out of 21. 162 yards as Alfred Anderson takes the handoff and carries out to the 24-yard line. Rather amazing that Anderson, a product of Baylor, that school has got 6 running backs in the National Football League.
And they're all pretty good football players. And this guy was the great quarterback in the state, you were telling me.
Well, he did, and then he got his hand hurt in an all-star game coming out, and they moved him to running back. And I believe he is second only to Walter Abercrombie in the Baylor's all-time rushing statistics.
No, that's right.
2nd down 5 for the Vikings at their 25-yard line. Anderson was their top draft pick, 3rd-round choice. There he is again, getting virtually nothing out of that. Of course, they lost their 1st pick to the USFL, and then they traded their 2nd and 4th to Houston in the Archie Manning deal. So they only had 1 pick of the first 4, so you can't get well that way for a club that's trying to rebuild.
Rebuilding is one thing. Really, what they also have to do is just get healthy. They've had a lot of tough injuries to real fine players, and it just magnifies the end of the season like this. It just magnifies the negative side of it.
3rd down and 5. Vikings at their 24-yard line. Behind the intended receiver, Jones. I must say, watching the 49ers practice, their scout team ran Minnesota's offense about as good as Minnesota's running its offense today, I thought.
Well, here's a quarterback that probably came to the game not really expecting to play, and he's playing against one of the better defensive football teams in football. In fact, the team that's given up the fewest number of points in the National Football League. That's tough.
Well, they got a bumper sticker going around Minnesota now. It says Les Steckel, with Les spelled with 2 S's.
Oh, geez.
That's what you're going to run into.
Oh, I know. Hey, I've been there.
McLemore signals for the fair catch, and well, he might, because he had Joey Browner, number 47, bearing down on him like a runaway locomotive. 45 yards on the punt, 0 on the return, 8 minutes and 31 seconds left before the Vikings are out of their misery. 49ers in charge, as you can see, and they have a 1st and 10 upcoming at their 30-yard line. They only carry 2 quarterbacks in their roster. After Kavanaugh, Freddie Solomon would be the emergency quarterback. Penalty marker down as Harmon carries over the left side out to the 32 or 33. There's the Vikings having a bad day, obviously. Having a bad year, obviously. But about 4 years ago, the 49ers were in about the same shape as Les Steckel and his team is.
They won 2 football games in their 1st season of their new program. The 2nd year, they won 4 games, right? And then the next year, they're a Super Bowl champion.
So things can turn around rather quickly. Holding call goes against the 49ers' Fred Quillen, the center. One thing watching this 49er line, they really seem to finish off their blocks, don't they?
They really do. I watched them in the film studies in preparation for this game, and I think they do as good a job as anybody I've seen on film all year of finishing the play with their offensive fundamental line techniques. I mean, finishing, you block until the whistle is blowing and you don't stop until then.
And the 49ers do that very well indeed. As they hit the team of its record. 1st and 20, Kavanaugh. Good hard toss to Mike Wilson, the wide receiver. He got about 10 of it back. Joey Browner, number 47. of the football-playing Browners. They're all over the league. Making the stop.
Montana is the great quarterback. There's no question about it. But Bill Walsh will tell you, we can win football games with Kavanaugh. And he was a discard from New England, you know. But this guy is a lot better football player than having been given credit for. And his performance right here is proving it.
Pretty good numbers on Matt Kavanaugh, as you can see.
Yeah.
Done an excellent job here in the second half in relief of Joe Montana, who finished his day 15 out of 21 for 246 yards. Now the rookie getting the call, doing a nice job. Derek Harmon finally run out of bounds in front of the 49er bench by Joey Browner, who seems to be all over the field. Well, he's probably got skid marks on his back from that one.
All right, watch John Ayers, the big offensive guard now, pull out here and go on, lead block right here as he crosses the formation and gets this sweep play going. Here you see him pull. Now watch his block. You'll pick him up right now. Now watch that block kick out. Right there. He gets him kicked out right there. Hooks him with his arm. Actually, he runs out of that tackle, up the sideline, and then takes a shot.
A 19-yard pickup on the play and a first down for the 49ers at the Viking 49-yard line. Harmon has rushed 9 times now for 46 yards and 1 touchdown. Russ Francis, the tight end, flags that one down over on the far side at the 42-yard line. And they picked up a 7 or 8. Now you think Hacksaw Reynolds is taking it easy. The hay is in the barn. Everything's done. Take the rest of the afternoon off. Are you kidding?
Maybe we better not show the fans what he's writing on that board. I don't know what he's got on there, but he's probably diagramming an inside linebacker dog. Look at him here. Wendell's looking at him.
Show it to us, Hack. Come
on, show it to us. There, Wendell,
show it to us, yeah. Wendell's going to show us the other side. Second down, 3. San Francisco at the 42. Minnesota. Bill Ring on the call to the 39-yard line. Maybe he's just drawing tic-tac-toe things on there. And he and Wendell are playing a little game of tic-tac-toe.
I'll bet you he's designing inside linebacker stunts with him going in and getting the sack.
That'll be close for the first down. And let's see, Gordon McCarter calls the official timeout here. And they'll bring in the change. 7 minutes, 22 seconds left to play. And the 49ers lead it 44-7. And if there is a better team in the National Football Conference, I haven't seen them. Just short of the yardage needed for the first down. Matter of inches as Kavanaugh looks to the sideline for the next play. Down, less than a yard needed for the first down. The relentless 49ers, I guess we can say it, because they've been that way this afternoon. They are taking no prisoners. Bill Ring, first down and a little more as he moves it to the 35-yard line. Chris Martin, number 56, on the stop. Ring is in his 4th year, played at Brigham Young.
He's captain of the special teams. This guy is a very much respected performer in this organization. He blocked the punt last week. And in fact, it was the first one the 49ers blocked since 1977. And who does it? Mr. Ring.
1st and 10 for the 49ers at the 35-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings. Even with the backups looking very crisp. Again, the rookie breaks through a big hole. Derek Harmon. Chris Martin, number 56, wraps him up.
Take a look at...
He never quits, does he?
This guy, he is a competitor. Here they are behind, huge score. He's battling, trying to make plays at that inside linebacker spot. You've got to give those kind of people credit. It's easy to fold up tent right now, 44-7, and head home with 6 minutes to go. But not this guy. A lot of character.
Especially if you've known the good years, and this has got to be a real downer after what they've been through.
They will appreciate the good years in the future, I'm sure.
Wilson to the left side, Nehemiah to the right, 2nd and 1 from the 26-yard line, looking for Nehemiah. Makes a shoestring catch for the first down at the 21-yard line. Young man showing us not only the blazing speed that we expected, but Good hands and good moves.
He has mobility. He's not just a straight line guy. When we worked him out there in the, I guess it was about 80, 81 there, when we worked him out there, he was going around the league working out for people. Everyone made that comment. He's more than just a track guy that runs fast in a straight line. He can get off that line. He can cut. He can jump. He can do all these things.
What did he tell you, though, when, after you finished, he could make more money playing track?
Well, he said he was making about $100,000 a year running track, and I said, son, keep running. Nobody hits you in that track.
That does make a difference. First and 10 for the 49ers at the 22-yard line. Not much there that time for Derek Harmon. Stopped at the line of scrimmage for virtually no gain. Clock continues to move with 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go. So the time remaining in the football game, it's been San Francisco all the way. They led 31-7 at halftime. And Kavanaugh has quarterbacked the entire second half. And Joe Montana will concentrate on the Rams in the playoffs, which lie beyond. I don't think we've seen a better team this year, have we?
No. And also in preparation, film study-wise, this is the best football team we've seen.
Ring takes it down to the 15-yard line. Scott Studwell again on the stop.
Here it is, just the old quick toss. Now watch the tight end right there, number 81. He's going to do a little reverse crab block. See that? He almost got him tripped down. And now here comes Studwell, 55, working inside out at Neil Elshire, number 73, to make the play. You know, my computer reports that I get from Bud Goody and the Univac computer thing shows the 49ers clearly being the best team in terms of they score 2 points for every point they give up. Second, I think, is Miami.
Pretty good company, I'd say.
Yeah, very good company.
Third down and 4 for the 49ers at the 15 of the Vikings. Kavanaugh wants 6. Well, Nehemiah came up with it. Question is, did he trap it or not?
I don't think he caught it. I thought it bounced.
They're going to give it to him, apparently. However, we may have a discussion by the officials here, and one may overrule the other.
Yeah.
That's going to be
good
the case.
call. Good call by the officials. I thought that came off the turf. And the fans don't like it.
13-yard gain will be erased, and the ball will come back to the 15-yard line.
I think right at the end we'll be able to show you that the ball did touch. Now see the ball leave the hand. Now follow it going to the left of your screen. Now just follow it, very left of your screen. Let's see if it hits the ground. I don't know. Real close. Real close.
That's a tough
I couldn't tell. That's a tough call.
Now,
It looked like it did from up here.
Nehemiah, as Joey Browner was shaken up, had he made that catch, he'd had the best game yardage-wise of any San Francisco receiver this year. Dwight Clark had caught 127. He's got 125.
Frank, let's see if we can see this from the end zone. Now you can see the quarterback throwing the ball. The nose of the ball is down. It's going down. He caught it. He caught it.
You've just reversed your field twice.
That's right. Hey, that's what's so great about these replays. That's why I'd like to see somebody in the press box as part of the officiating crew make a wrong a right and make a right a wrong. You know, by just evaluating it and say, yes, it was, no, it wasn't, and let the game go on. I don't think it would slow it down.
You know, our poll at halftime said the fans are in favor of the television replays.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm in favor of it. I'll tell you, this officiating crew, though, I really think is a very good officiating crew. Do you notice how today you almost didn't notice they were on the field? They did a good job.
You do have a tendency for that in 44-7 ball games, so but they're not a big factor, obviously. Fourth down. They need 4 for the first down. And I guess they figure Worthing's had enough practice. So they're going to go for it. Kavanaugh pitching off to Ring. That's worked very successfully. And Bill Ring has a touchdown. For the score, the people's choice, Bill Ring scores for the 49ers.
That's his third touchdown this year.
In their last 2 outings, and San Francisco beat Minnesota last year at the Metrodome. In their last 2 outings, the 49ers have now scored 98 points against Minnesota.
I'd say that's putting some points on the board.
So. And Worthing going for 99. 49ers have crashed the 50 barrier, 51-7. Back with the final 3:01 in just a moment.
NFL Studios, Eaton Avenue and Silver Bell, and fill my office for the Chico Community Toy Drive.
Well, Eric will be here next Friday night and maybe trying to set a new NFL season rushing record. And if he gets it against his defense, he's done something.
He'll earn it, but I'll tell you, they have a very good football team. And when they're playing and they're right, they're really tough.
Leo Lewis on the kickoff return for the Vikings. 25 and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. You know, going forward on 4th down, you think Walsh is running up the score a little bit here?
Well, I think his chances of making the field goal and the sure 3 points was greater than making the first down for 4 and then going on in and running for a touchdown. So actually, I think his thinking was the other way. Hey, run it. We don't make it, forget about it, and they go ahead and put it in the end zone. Sometimes these things just happen. That's all there is to it.
You know, you've known Walsh a long time. There's been some talk that he might step down and just take the front office job. You see that happening anytime soon?
I don't see that happening right now. I see it happening within maybe 3, 4, or 5 years, something like that. But he's got the program too well organized, and he's still growing to get out of it now.
1st and 10 for the Vikings at their 28-yard line. Pass is incomplete from Wade Wilson. Intended for Jones. 49ers are 1 point off their record point total for a single game, 52, set back in 1965.
I saw that team play in 1965. I was a freshman coach at Stanford University. Used to get to see the 49ers play once in a while.
Who was on that team?
Well, now you're really starting to put the Johnny Johnsons and those kind of people. Jimmy Johnson and those kind of people. But in fact, you see some of those guys in coaching in the National Football League.
2nd and 10 for the Vikings at their 28. Wilson looking for help. Spots Leo Lewis over the middle. Lewis doing a nice bit of running after making the catch and has a Minnesota first down at the 45-yard line. Carlton Williamson, number 27, and Mario Clark, number 29, wrapping him up.
He's a quick little guy. Now watch him coming off the line of scrimmage. He's run a little delay move underneath the zone coverage. See the people cleaning it out. Now he's the ball carrier. 4 tackle right there. Good block right there. Now he's running. Watch him bounce away. Good job for a little guy.
Back to live action. Wilson's pass intended for Sensor, thrown behind him. And almost intercepted. Blanchard Montgomery was in the area for the 49ers, and so was Dwight Hicks.
Mr. Wilson. He's done a pretty good job. Commerce High School. Commerce, Texas, right?
That's in East Texas, right?
East Texas.
Kind of between Dallas and the Louisiana border.
Yeah.
Played at East Texas State. In case you joined us late, Archie Manning was shaken up early in the game and replaced by Wilson. 2nd and 10. Vikings at their 45 go to Sensor. Sensor starting his first game in a year and a half. Makes the reception. We've got the 2-minute warning. Time is out with the 49ers leading the Vikings 51-7. Well, there's a legend with his pad still on. Jan Stenerud, the kicker of the Minnesota Vikings, hasn't had a chance to get much work today.
You know, besides being a great kicker, he's maybe the best golfer in the National Football League.
Great athlete.
Yeah.
Probably retire like Blanda did and immediately start getting his pension. 3rd down and 2 for the Vikings at the 48-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. Wilson hitting Sensor for the first down at the 37-yard line. Vikings going with the hurry-up offense at this point.
Did you see that number 95 just flash by the screen? Michael Carter, wasn't he the track guy?
Right. That pass was blocked. Look at the 49ers defense. They've got not only Carter in there, weighs around 280, 290, plus Kelcher, who's over 300. They got both guys who are normally nose tackles. And Michael Carter, number 95, was the Olympian from SMU, the shot putter. He got the silver medal in Los Angeles, and then he went for the gold when he signed his contract for the 49ers.
Very well. Very good, Frank.
Yes.
Very good.
2nd down, 10.
Very good.
Vikings at the 37-yard line. In the 49ers end of the field, trying to get at least a consolation touchdown. Leo Lewis running through a couple of people inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. They won't let him go. Dwight Hicks had him by the foot, and Leo says, let go.
Boy, he is quick, is he not? Boy, he is really, he looks like a little jitterbug running around here.
Vikings are calling time with a first down at the 21-yard line of Minnesota. Why would you call time down 44 points with a minute and a half to go?
These guys, they want to score a touchdown. That's all. It's still a game to them.
The executive producer of the NFL on CBS, Terry O'Neill. Our senior producer, Charles H. Milton III. And our producer here in San Francisco, Robert D. Stenner. Our director, Bob Fishman, responsible for the fine pictures, camera coverage. Associate producer, Richard Drake. Field technical manager, Brooks Graham. And a lot of the other folks who made this one possible from Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California.
Good camera crew today, Frank.
Oh, this mostly the West Coast crew that we run into a lot of times during the golf tour. In fact, we'll be out here in about a month or so when the tour picks up with Phoenix and Los Angeles and the Crosby as well.
During those tours, do you ever go out and play a little bit with those guys?
I watch them play.
You don't show them that left-handed swing?
No, I don't show them that left-handed swing. My golf game reached its peak when I was able to disguise my whiffs as practice swings. First and 10 from the 21-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. Vikings going for the cancellation touchdown if they can get it. Some movement in the offensive line. Anderson down to the 15-yard line. A reminder again tomorrow, big CBS doubleheader. This is the biggie of the year, the NFC East. I mean, we've got playoff berths at stake. Giants St. Louis for most of you in the first game, then the Redskins and the Cowboys to wrap it up in the second half of the doubleheader from Texas Stadium. One of the 49ers shaken up on that last play. Clock is stopped with 1 minute and 12 seconds, and that's the last thing the 49ers want is a needless injury here with a little over a minute to go in a game that they're ahead by 44 points. Tom Homo.
Tom Homo from Crescenta Valley High School in La Crescenta, California. BYU product. You know, he was a cornerback in college.
It's one of their extra defensive backs. Look at the Vikings bench. Archie's all right. I still hope he winds up with a winner, whether it's Minnesota or somewhere else. He's got, I think, 1 year left in his contract with the Vikings, and he says he really feels pretty good, tends to play a few years, and the guy keeps in amazing shape. You know, when he came up in 1971, he was the second player picked in the draft. He's a very talented football player. What I'm leading up to is asking you who the first player picked in the draft was in 1971.
1971, the first player? Can't tell you.
Fellow that you should be familiar with, Jim Plunkett.
Jimmy Plunkett, that's right. That's the year of the three quarterbacks. That's
Dan
right.
Pastorini came up the same year.
Same year. Yeah, not thinking, Frank. This guy stays in amazing shape. And he said, you know, Coach, I don't tell everybody how much I work out because I don't want to be razzed about it. He says.
But he gets together with Stenerud, the two graybeards, and they work out together.
Here's Jeff. I think he got kneed in the back, and I saw him after the play walking over there, and I saw him sort of favoring him. So that's probably what happened. Bill's concerned about that. You can see this.
Little over than 1 minute left to play in this ball game, and the 49ers next up against Los Angeles. And again, the Vikings will close out their season against the Green Bay Packers at home in the Metrodome. And then the blueprint begins to come into shape for the 1985 season at Minnesota. Got to be some interesting things happen. One thing, Homo seems to be all right. One thing about Les Steckel, when he accepted this job, he inherited a complete staff of assistants who had to be with him at least one season, according to the way we understand the deal was structured. And already one of those assistants, Jerry Burns, has indicated that he's going to be heading elsewhere, and there could be a few changes in that area. You'd like to surround yourself with your own people, I'm sure.
No question. You have to do that. You have to surround yourself with your own people, and that's not always an indication that the people that are there are not competent, because I'll tell you, the Jerry Burns is the guys like him. He's been one of the outstanding offensive coordinators in football for a number of them.
People like Burns and a couple of others who were passed over, they've been around a lot longer, and maybe one of the reasons was age. I don't know. Was he very confident? Second Vikings at the 15-yard line of San Francisco. Wade Wilson. Back wasn't quite ready. Turning around was Alan Rice, number 36, who played with Anderson at Baylor. Carlton Williamson defending. And will set up a 3rd and 4. Wilson went to the sidelines after the Washington game at halftime and told the coach, what did he say? It's not been a good day, or
He says, Coach, I've had it. He says, I can't get anything going. I'm not doing a good job. That's all.
And Steckel says, we're all in the same boat, right?
Yeah, he did. He's welcome to the club.
Yeah, welcome to the club. And took him out, put Archie in for the second half to the fine job. The pitch to Alfred Anderson. Anderson really running hard. That's an impressive run by that young man from Baylor University. Jim Stuckey, number 79, was the first to have a shot at him, but he is tough to bring down. That's a first down for the Minnesota Vikings.
He was a 2,400-yard rusher in college. Like you said, second to Abercrombie from Baylor. And right there, he shows he runs with character. Here you are. You've got 1 minute and 1 second to go. You're down 51 to 7, and you're laying on the line trying to get in the end zone.
Wade Wilson was hit 18 out of 30 for 212 yards. Anderson is the leading rusher for the Vikings with 11 carries for 43 yards. 49ers leading rusher is Craig with 45 in 7 carries. And Bill Ring has carried 44 times, or rather 7 times for 44 yards. And then Harmon at 56. There's Tom Holmoe, the defensive back, who was injured a little while ago, trying to walk it off with the assistance of the 49er Medical Corps. Well, the fans chanting defense here. They'd like to knock them down. There's not too many left. Sounds like there's a lot here.
It's amazing the noise that here. There's not many people left here. It's echoing around the stadium.
51-7. San Francisco. A minute to go in the game. First and goal, Vikings at the 49ers 6. Rice with Anderson leading the way, and Rice takes it down to the 1-yard line. Alan Rice, the young man who had the misfortune of fumbling through the end zone last week against Washington, when it looked like the Vikings were going to get back into that ball game after they trailed 31-0 at the half. Stay with us. Lots more to happen. Anderson looking for a touchdown. It's behind the line. Will go down at the 11-yard line for a loss of 10 yards on the play. Stay with us. NFL Today postgame show coming up next as Anderson limps back into the huddle and the Vikings call time, stopping the clock with 25 seconds to go.
As Anderson reversed around here, Wade Wilson, the quarterback. Now watch the toss. Now he's going to reverse around. He doesn't want to, but he has no place to go. Good defense right there. Dan Buzz, number 57, does a good job. There he goes. Ricky Ellison pushing him back. Now watch the block by the quarterback right there. That was a quarterback that knocked down Milt McCall. I've never seen a quarterback make that kind of contact.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Better put some bigger pads on that guy.
Third down, goal to go from the 11-yard line. For the Minnesota Vikings, big conference at the Vikings sideline. Seconds left as Wilson comes back into the huddle. Lewis wide to the left side. Jones is split out there as well. 49ers have 6 defensive backs on the field. Wilson to throw it. The feet of Alan Rice, the intended receiver. And that will give the Vikings one more shot. Fourth down, goal to go from the 11. You'd think this meant the ball game here, the way the bench is rolling them on. Look at
There's the
Hacksaw.
Hacksaw again. He's going to do a little coaching. There's Bubba. Bubba Parrish, number 77. Not very often do you as an NFL player get to stand on the sideline and enjoy a Sunday's event like this.
Wilson indicating that receivers. Dwight Collins move over to the right side. Here it is, 4th and goal from the 11. They try to get it to Sensor, and had he caught the ball, he was surrounded by red shirts. Look at the reaction of the 49ers. You think they just won the Super Bowl again, huh? Carlton Williamson. So the Vikings turn it over one last time.
Well, Bill Walsh wants to gain momentum for his squad going on into the playoffs. I'll tell you, they're going to need momentum fighting out against the Los Angeles Rams, because the Rams have everything to gain. It's a must gain for them, and it won't be for the 49ers. That could be a tough situation for the 49ers. Here comes the old flop on.
You don't like this play?
I don't like this play.
Huh?
It's almost humiliating.
To who?
To the defensive team. Talk about rubbing it in. How do you like this play, fans? Ooh, look at the contact. That's not a football play.
Well, that is the football game. Mercifully for the Minnesota Vikings. The San Francisco 49ers relentless, as Bill Walsh would have them, on both offense and defense. That's the end of the ball game. The final score, San Francisco 51, Minnesota 7.